There we go. We're gonna go for that Papa Crowley, Marry Me, Androgynous, Pansexual, LGBTQ, Rainbow, Fitness, Captain, Independent Fitness, Captain, Geopolitical Analyst, and Theorist. You got that Canada. And you got that Quebec over there from Quebec, La Belle Province. That says Quebec, that says Canada. And this one, we need to be painting. So I bought for some chocolate, no name, hazelnut, no name, special, $5, $49, $5.49, $5.49, and these were reduced. I bought myself some sweets because I got a budget of $13. So we're gonna go before the Habs game. Go Habs, go, reduce the cost. Then we're gonna go bundle it towards the sunset. As we go over time, every time we're gonna rock and roll on that drill. Let's go, putting on the lion, auctioning this lion. Auctioning this lion for $1 million to give half to my anonymous sister friend, That is Quebec, Canada. And we're gonna go rock and roll towards the west. West. We go where the sun sets. This one we're gonna put it over here. We're gonna drop it, lock and load it, and we're gonna go. Put what's this here? Oh, we got some droppy drop, and let's go. Ready? We're gonna go. Put on the lion and put on in the backpack. Auctioning the backpack, auctioning the lion, auctioning everything that I'm wearing, even this LGBTQ flag, rainbow flag. And auction this rainbow flag for $1 million. Gonna give half that, 50% to my anonymous friend. Let's get ready to rock in that roll. And my Habs hat for $1 million. Let's see if they're gonna win. Let's see if we can rock and roll now. We drill. Okay, let's go. Put on the glasses, put on the shades. I got them $3. And I'm gonna auction the glasses for that less. Auction the glasses for, I know for how much, how little. We're gonna go drilling on the Quebec. Sometimes it says Quebec. That is Quebec right here from Quebec, La Belle Province. That says Canada. And this one, we need to paint a bit on that Mexico. And we need to paint on that Canada right here. The one we gotta put here is gonna be the USA and Mexico. So then we got all North America together. Let's go rock and roll. Overtime, every time, with your truly Rainbow Dragon push-ups. Push-ups, squats, hops, we're marching towards the sun. On that, LOV, go Habs, go to the right. Workout, train, exercise, and those working out, training and exercising. Gotta get it for those drills, and let's see the sun, my Pope the King. I didn't overspend. I had a $10 budget to get myself sweets. Papa Crowley's birthday. Special march for my pops. Father crazy, loony, father pops. Father Rabo, Aleister Crowley towards my Pope the King, the Sun. Fred Berta Rabo, Aleister Crowley. Many names, many guises. Where thou reincarnated and marry me. Anonymous sister friend in an open BDSM switch. Being centrist, androgynous, pansexual. Rock and roll for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks. On the Saint Jacques, here we go. Towards the sun. Overtime, every time we're gonna drill it all the way. Maybe not. Maybe we're gonna spin some corner because I wanna. Got $5 to give myself a cup of coffee while those Habs playing right here somewhere in Saint Jacques. Financially stressed. I am financially stressed. I am broke, I admit it, but got trillions of kisses. I got that ass, PHFA, high functioning. Autism going towards the sunset. Maybe we're gonna go all the way by the river. Maybe now we're gonna see how that thing, working out, training, exercising is my favorite sport. And I wish I could afford a massage therapy session. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, they afford a massage therapy session better, but we're gonna go get those drills. Be careful when you cross the street here. Sometimes they come at you fast, so you gotta go towards the sun. And Habs versus Ottawa, calling on the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, and those Habs to reduce the costs, the tickets by half. 44.9%, 44. That moon's getting full. Today's the 12th, Saturday the Sabbath of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom here on the island. Metropolis, 2.5 million people. See somebody wearing that red, looking good in that red LOV. Anybody want to make that loving? I'm open to give free hugs, free kisses, free feet washings. With that rock and roll to all my willing, loving allies and armies, pledge your legions, and gotta get it on the drill, gotta get it on the go. And sometimes we can circumvent. Maybe we're gonna go by that side, by this side. We can go, of course, in many directions, many sides to get all the way to that drill. And Always gotta be grateful, thankful. My rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, got food and coffee, and you know, Thanksgiving coming, so I got Thanksgiving to be grateful for. Because survived COVID, was hit by COVID hard, February, March, and stressed, suicidal. And 7 years ago, crossed Canada, coast to coast. That event in my life turned my whole life around. When I crossed Canada, coast to coast, that event really turned my life around. I got an esprit de corps. I made here family, and we get married. North Americans Unite, the Collective, North American Civilizational Complex, as a philosopher, you know, who come to live here with us, black, white, and my black brothers and sisters, constituting 13.3%, 13.4% of the North American collective population. I always got to drill it for them, and see, we already got a little bit of that hockey over there. Got a little bit of that hockey. Who's playing? I know Habs are going to play tonight, and they're on that play tonight at 7 o'clock. And you know, sharp, please reduce the ticket cost by 44.9%. 44.9%. I just got to deviate a little bit because really nature calls, and I got to go deep into the nature here. You can transpond and go deep into the nature as I look at that moon. And for Father Crowley, Papa Crowley is Crowley my ass, 12th of October, special birthday, 1875 in Worcestershire, England, the British Empire. The greatest ever living poet was born, so for the greatest ever living poet today, to march towards the sunset and that water, the greatest ever living poet towards the sunset and that water, the greatest ever living poet towards the sunset. We're gonna go get that water, and I'm gonna have to put interjection here a bit, and while I go in the woods, get a little bit of that. Here you can go down, see, because it's called a falaise, but it needs a lot of cleaning. So the DJ Dancing Goddess Army, we're gonna do a lot of cleaning here. So I'm gonna go there because I can go down. So then we're gonna interject up in the wild, and we're gonna get on that drill. Here we go. Gotta step military drills. Rainbow Dragon philosopher, geopolitical honest and theorist. We gotta clean that. I did an assessment, and that one we gotta clean. That one we gotta clean right there as I go towards the sun. DJ Dancing Goddess Army, we gotta get that foundation, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, the Dragon Kingdom, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. We gotta get that foundation, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which I'm laying the foundation as a non-sectarian Thelemik kingdom here from La Belle Province, Montreal, North America. Go NHL, National Hockey League, NFL, National Football League, NBA. Please reduce the ticket cost. We gotta get that reduction of the tickets ASAP. You know, billionaires. I'm laying the foundations for the first North American Democratic Republic of North America, public-private partnership for the North American Collective Workers Body, centrifugally-based initiatives. This Rainbow Dragon, androgynous, pansexual, you get that 50-50. Many past lives, many incarnations. First Kingdom Empire. For the empire, for the kingdom to be founded with trillions of kisses created from the forgotten goddess. Kisses I got as I march on these steps, all the way towards the sunset. Grateful, thankful, rents, electricity bills, paying out food and coffee, and always mindful about all things that are going now. I gotta salute the firefighters, LOV to the firefighters, LOV to the butchers, LOV to the bakers, LOV to those. Well, today's Saturday, so not much daycare work, but in the daycare, changing diapers all week, you know. Gotta get a new protocol to implement for the Canadian Armed Forces, NORAD, NATO. Part of the ongoing Dragon Army initiative to implement, of course. Thank you for letting me pass. I saw putting on the brakes. I was turning my head left and right because I want to pass safely because I'm in the public, so I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, which under the course of circumstances I will not have. And that's what it is right there. That's what I need to get doing with that. And gotta salute the workers. You know, I just bought myself and it was so busy. And, you know, they're there on the field, you know, busy Saturday, scanning, doing work. It was full and always full as that supermarket. So, you know, it's also the workers, the butchers, the bakers, the truckers, the nurses, the doctors, you know, the grocery store clerks, all those involved in the production, distribution of food, you know. Always thinking about the cooks now, everything that's transpiring coast to coast, ocean to ocean, across the North American complex, across the collective North American civilizational complexes. Yours truly is here, the motels, hotels, and tourism, and here from Quebec, Montreal, the Habs are hosting the Ottawa. How's that capital? Yes, go. The king is absent, brothers and sisters. The king is absent. The king is absent. Gotta say, I'm for the Federation Canada to transform in Federation is time, 21st century Democratic Republic for the North American Union, just like the European Union taking forward. Democratic Republic. I am going for Crowley now. For Poppa Crowley, today is that Poppa Pops. Pops on that Crowley, and we're gonna go circumvent, and let's see what time it is, because that sunset coming, 5:58, so we're gonna go see all the way, maybe of course go to the river, by whatever way interjection. Let's go. If I go by the river by that way, that means that I'll have to keep it straight forward and deviate a bit on the side, and like those sidelines when the Habs are gonna play. So I got my Habs hat. Please, Habs, not just Habs, but all the NHL, please. Call it a heart from this independent athlete, philosopher, geopolitical theoretical analyst, and mystic, you know, spiritual mystic, and of course artist, athlete, philosopher, theoretical geopolitical analyst, or geopolitical theoretical analyst, and of course the fifth, mystic, being spiritual myself. You know, with spirituality is pretty much a lot of rock and roll in my spirituality. You know, I like my dancing is my favorite sport. I like hockey, you know, and all things about football, and got my Habs hat ready, auctioning it for $1 million. Please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, please reduce the costs ASAP, 44.9%, and please give a little bit of charity for the children, for the Halloween, you know. So yesterday was a little bit of Halloween march, and I went over there and in Montreal West, saw some good decorations, and they're gonna have some fun. And I love, you know, the youth, and for the youth, always for the butchers, always for the bakers. It's not all about Wall Street, and you know, millionaire athletes, artists, and it's time for some change. And change sometimes to blood, sweat, and tears, you know, myself included. You know, I suffered, been depressed, been suicidal, and here I am today on the march doing a little bit of meditative workout, always thinking about the truckers, please, strippers, give them a discount, as I march for Poppa Crowley, Father Partenariat, bury a third of me up in the mountain, Mount Royal, my second home, a third of me up in New Jersey, a third of me in that city of the pyramids, as we go for that drill, as we go for that X, as we go for that now, as we go to cross the street. Gotta be careful, mindful, of course, when I cross the street here, but because I gotta think about that hygiene, because I just pressed the button. And you know, when you press the button, you gotta meditate. How many people touched it before me? And you know, I put a lot of things into the geopolitical perspective. It's geopolitics 24/7, because as an ASP, you got that HFA, high functioning autism, and I got my pocket disinfectant open carry for bacteria, germs, and microbes, for bacteria, germs, and microbes, for bacteria, germs, and microbes. You know, I always gotta double check, interject, and I'm a YouTuber here. We're working with the laptops. I always gotta go drill it within, and I always gotta go admire a little bit of those cranes for construction workers, LOV to the construction workers building on those cranes, towering on those cranes to build them up and up and up. And I always gotta be the meditation, for the do, for the now, for the action, for the right and to the left, to the right. And Canada, coast to coast, they got that. Firefighters, LOV, firefighters of North America, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, those flipping some burgers in the fast food, LOV's gotta get some love. It's not all about fighting, it's about workers also. It's not all about fight. It takes a little bit of charity. You know, myself, I'm financially stressed, and I was joking with somebody because he said, you look good and all dressed fancy. I said, well, you know, this is second hand. I bought this $5, although I'm auctioning it for $1 million. $5. The glasses are $3 or so. The hat I got second hand, and of course the shoes I got a gift, and this one I got a gift, and this one was gifted from my anonymous friend. So I don't even remember when I moved. I remember moving from a moldy place, you know, in Côte des Neiges. And just remember moving, started my fitness journey 2017 when I crossed Canada coast to coast. That event in my life made me come out of being depressed and suicidal. So coming out of being depressed and suicidal back then, of course, I crossed Canada. And back then, crossing Canada made me, of course, realize, and I built a strong esprit de corps with a true north, strong and free as a Canadian. Got that Canada tatted on my right arm, and I've been here, born in a past life, previous incarnation, sometimes a man, sometimes a woman. You know, you get that 50-50 now, but just to interject, of course, that I do believe in reincarnations, and sometimes I was born a man and a woman, but sometimes now you get that 50-50. I was born right on the island close by Montreal, by the mountain, by Mount Royal, my second home there, and we gotta get it for the XYZ. They always gotta get it for the interjection. I always gotta insert a little gratitude, you know, thinking about the ambulance drivers, the firefighters, and all those now youth, go prudent, go dancing, have fun. But you know, we gotta reconcile differences, North American complex, and see everything that's happening around the world. I predicted it 5 years ago, you know, because geopolitics is my kingdom, my realm, my domain. So that is what I am, an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and an artist and a fitness captain, independent, who got a little bit of hope for that XYZ, and hope for the North American Collective, at least for the defense, security, and service. And that's what I am, a little bit for that defense, security, and service. And that's what it is for the sunrise, the sunset. There's always a sunset, always a sunrise, always a sunset, always a sunrise. And now, of course, if it's 6:04 p.m. So it's 6:04 p.m. here, right? Here, but we gotta subtract, because in Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, we gotta subtract 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. So there on that 3 p.m. in San Francisco, the Bay Area. Good job, San Francisco. I'm a Niner, was there in the past life, roaming by the Bay, and I do love gridiron football, although dancing is my favorite sport. I just love to dance, and you know, we got some purpose. I've been suffered, depressed, suicidal, got hit by COVID. It's gonna be in 5 months. It's gonna be 2020, February, March. It's gonna be 5 years, and marking this month of October, 5 years since, of course, I have predicted an international conflagration. What's unfolding now across the world, I predicted it in a general manner, and I believe I have some information, theories, and of course protocols for the implementation of how to, of course, situate and how to salvage and how to, of course, implement certain protocols and ideas for the security, defense, and service of the North American Collective Defense. See, I'm thinking about that. I see fuel on it. I always take my mind gets to geopolitics in terms of if there's a potential sabotage by exterior forces, and you know, we gotta play that defense. And in the coming days, weeks, and months, I will be discussing, especially the month of October is the month of geopolitics, and November I will be introducing my protocols and theory, the total defense, total mobile defense force, total citizen integrated mobile security and service force, the total defense, mobile security and service and defense force. And you got to get that 3G, 4G, 5G, and Rogers Telecommunications and Bell and all the private telecommunications of North America. They got to support us, in private and public, and we got to get that coast to coast North America. We got a lot of rebuilding the total North America, total North American citizen integrated, total mobile citizen defense initiative security, which of course to have hundreds of operational public-private partnership vehicles to encourage citizens to work out, train, exercise, and part of a lot of ideas and congruences for the betterment. And you know, I'm an Aspie, so it's things, social things, which I'm weird, not fully aware, but with Asperger's, I got my obsessive interest, trinity of interest, which is geopolitics, dancing, and dancing is my favorite sport, but sports and fitness. I love sports and fitness. I'm an independent fitness captain who in October 2019, I created my own workout training program system, my own workout training program system back in 2019 in October. I created a workout training program system which is simple, effective, and efficient, which I perform more than 372, which requires no equipment. And of course it's easy to do. Well, easy in terms of that it requires no equipment. You don't need a gym membership. So easier for some, more for some, less for others. It was hard for me when I started, but I've been on my fitness journey since I got out of the depression 2017 when I crossed Canada coast to coast. That was an event which changed the course of my life. And I founded a strong esprit de corps with the true north, strong and free, my fellow Canadians and all who come to join us. The King is absent, times for that North American Union, the Federation, Presidential Federation, and the Public-Private Partnership Coast to Coast, the new 21st century security service and defense protocols, which I am myself a philosopher, with Asperger's, HFA, high-functioning autism. So I've been struggled a lot with chronic unemployment and having an employment which only lasted 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 days, a few days, a few weeks, a few months due to, of course, there's a lot of misunderstanding still, but we're demystifying autism, especially my type of autism, which is HFA, high-functioning autism, and of course Asperger's, with some claim that Asperger's is actually a point of transition between the evolutionary points. So I don't know about that. It's a BBC documentary. So I don't know it's a BBC documentary or not. It's a BBC documentary, but not to be confused with the porn acronym, BBC. It's British Broadcasting Corporation. And myself, I'm celebrating 3 years since I stopped watching porn. 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 3 years since I stopped myself watching porn, and that's what it is for now. And that's why we gotta get drilled with that, and we gotta get drilled with that. And you know, I'm androgynous, pansexual. I have a comical sexuality, very comedic sexuality. My BDSM switches, and only friends with benefits now, you know. Only friends with benefits now. Only friends with benefits. Pledge your allegiance, and you know, gotta get that. I wish I could afford a massage therapy session, but you know, finance the firefighters, millionaires, billionaires, Wall Street. Finance the firefighters, the nurses, public workers, those who pick up the garbage. 3 services I got in my neighborhood, picking up the garbage, collecting the garbage on those big trucks. They're athletes. Give them some free tickets, so they're picking up the garbage, the compost, and the recycling. So picking up a little bit of those and give them, you know, finance them on massage therapy sessions, because I could do without, you know. I'm just gonna take a bath and gaze at the moon a little bit, and we're gonna go circumvent. Maybe we're just gonna go straight towards the sunset. How about that? It's 6:09. Maybe we're gonna see how much we can do it, and otherwise we can go straight and then cut it on the side, change a little bit. Want to do a little bit of change? I guess we could. How about that if we interject and then go by the side? Maybe do that a little bit, just change. Instead of going to the river, go on a trail we haven't been before a lot, and and sometimes we gotta go on the trail with that, and sometimes we just gotta go do it, you know, on the lots, and that's why we gotta go do it on the lot, and that's why we gotta go do it on the lot, that's why we gotta go do it on the XYZ, and that's why we gotta go drill it on the XYZ, and gotta meditate, man, always in a meditative state, you know, about everything that's transpiring across the world, especially North America. From a defense perspective, Asperger's, once again, it's not a mental illness. It is a neurodevelopmental mental psychic condition. Makes us predisposed to obsessive interest. And again, my trinity, holy rainbow dragons trinity, is geopolitics 24/7. The study, the analysis of geopolitics. With geopolitics parallel to geopolitics is sports. Dancing is my favorite sport. Parallel, rock and roll. You know, that's the trinity. And I am an artist, athlete, philosopher, independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, and mystic. Going for that Poppa Crowley today, marking the 5 years is gonna be soon, October 22nd, 23rd, when I got out of depression. And no, before I got out of depression was 2017, but in 2019, October 2019, I've concluded that humanity is set on a course towards an international conflagration. And so created my workout training program system, designed to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario. That is the great paradox. And that's what I do 24/7. For many years, I have a routine, you know, wake up and do geopolitical analysis, theorizing, revisions. I work out, train, exercise at least for the past 7 years, because, you know, 7, 8, 9 years, then my memory blacks out. You know, I have lived experience being attacked by surprise. I lived an experience where I was attacked. I was attacked by surprise, you know. So I was attacked in Montreal. I was attacked, and fell down with the head and got back up real quick, but I was dislocated. Right arm was dislocated, had to go to the hospital, and I got back fit, and I was out for a few days, and many events in my life where I have a lot of scars. And I had Cillian Pirate episode, I had Cillian Pirate episode, I had Cillian Pirate episode, Cillian Pirate episode, I had the Cillian Pirate episode, in my life. So the Cillian Pirate episode, that's we gotta do it in my life, is that I lived and have retrograde amnesia, there's like blackouts like that. Harbor ball of memory, So I just remember clearly and the perfection mostly the past 7+ years, 2017, 2016, then just there's blackouts. Maybe COVID, I'm not sure, but I'm waiting for the medical archives to God, and we're gonna go do it by the drill, go do it by the go. So we're gonna go do it by the sunset, That's what we're gonna go doing with that. That's what we're gonna go get in that etiquette, and my fellow children there doing a little bit of dancing and dancing the streets freely, securely, and make some of that good loving. It's encouraging people to work out, train, exercise. Super important, fitness. And I'm joyous, but financially stressed. Financially stressed, but my pain, suffering, and being depressed, being suicidal. It's and accepting that I'm neurodivergent, accepting my neurodivergence, being that I have Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism. I live with certain symptoms because there's no medication for Asperger's, because Asperger's is not a mental illness, right? Asperger's is not a mental illness. Asperger's HFA is not a mental illness. It is a neurological mental divergent condition. It just makes me predisposed to certain obsessive interests and topics of which we are obsessed about. And means geopolitics, sports, fitness, and rock and roll. Rock and roll for the farmers, for the butchers, for the nurses, for the doctors. Gotta get that step up. That I get that 50-50. How to play that. Dragon Rainbow, that's that priestess. Turning in that nature. That I look cleaner. Get dirty but get back clean like a mean machine up in the sky for the spleen. For the defense, for the love. For the defense, for the serve. For the defense, for the love. For the defense, for the bud. For that rock and roll, we served. For that rock and roll, we served. For those firefighters and those nurses and those doctors. Gotta get it for the waters. Gotta get it for the black and white and rainbow. Gotta sing it for the black and white and rainbow. Gotta sing it for the black and white and rainbow. Gotta sing it for the black and white and rainbow. Gotta sing it for the black and white and rainbow. Gotta sing it for the black and white and rainbow. The bow-legged, that's the uncle. But I mean up in the spleen. For that lettuce, that's the For that lettuce, that's the For the lettuce, that's the For the queen and for the bean, for the queen and for the lean, for the workers, that's the spleen. North American Workers, Collective Workers Party, go Poppa Crowley. Bury a third of me, Mount Royal, and a third of me in New Jersey, and a third of me where the city of the pyramids, past lives, incarnations was born, sometimes a man or woman, right here on the island in the USA, 3 times post 1776. Twice as a man, once as a woman when I was born as a man in the USA. 2 times I served in the United States Armed Forces, same army, 2 different wars apart, 156 years apart, and here I am, marching towards the sun, gonna get that sunset, I'm gonna go check a coffee, check a little bit of those halves, and see how those halves are doing with that, and gonna get that interjection for the X, and for the right, and for the love, and for the sight, and for that LOV, for the might, and that's what we're gonna get doing with that, and that's what we're gonna get doing with X, and super important, to meditate and be grateful, thankful, electricity bills paid, got food, gonna turn my head left and right here before I cross the streets, turn my head and gotta salute the train conductors, we gotta salute the train conductors, now thinking in meditative way because I see there might be some oil, so I'm always putting this in the context of security defense for the North American civilizational complex, in terms of a security for the North American civilizational complex, so that fell down, I gotta reach and put it properly, because it should go in the garbage. That's why We got it, garbage collectors. That's why we got public workers, North American Workers Unite. Aspies of the world parallel unite, and we got to get that drill down there, and always got to be thinking about all the train conductors, how they build, you know, all the trains, and how they're operating now. Got to meditate about that, got to think about them, got to think about what they're doing, how they're doing it. See, you got that train there, so I love you train conductors of North America, and we got trains which are united all the way Mexico, Canada, so it's the North American Civilizational Complex, so always putting that now in a geopolitical context for security and service, and in terms of course, worst case scenario, invasion of foreign armies in North America. Always got to meditate and see how they're doing with that. And my brothers and sisters there in the rail conductors doing on that drill. See, thinking about them, how they're doing with that, and they're doing on that train. And I love trains, and gotta get that access. You know, it's always meditating, of course, how the train's got to be secured. You know. It's a long train, and gotta salute LOV, the train conductors. LOV, the old who built it, workers of the 20th century. All civilization is a privilege. Civilization is a privilege. North American Collective Civilizational Complex. Gotta salute the railway conductors, the butchers, the bakers, and always meditating in terms of coast to coast. This one is going, of course, west. This one's going west towards the sunset, and I always meditate about where is it going, how is it going, what's carrying. That knowledge, information exists, but I can only speculate now, and my speculations revolve around the geopolitical context of what I predicted 5 years ago in October 2019, that there will be an international conflagration, and this is what's happening now in the world. There's an international conflagration, and the point of inflection that we got to get that defense, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and we got to get that interjection. See, we got to build mobile defense forces like that one. That gave me an idea to build weaponry or defensive weaponry, coast to coast and satellite connected interjection, of course, to be able to interject and be able to defend in terms of a nuclear war, thermonuclear war, or missiles. We got to get that North American Hawk parallel to the Scorpio down below, Scorpio and mass finance via my DRT. And this is a long one. Meditate. Thank you, firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, all those involved in the production, distribution of food. I gotta salute the railway conductors. I just love trains. I always meditate how they were built, how many were built, and North American trains and railway conductors, sending some love to the conductors, to those who built it in the 20th century, all those who built it black, white, and brown, whatever. North American Collective Workers Party, let's go for that rock and roll, and it's still going. Got to get a little bit of that cargo. I counted 176 as of yet, but there might be more inside, and I always got to get that meditation of what's going now, and what's going for that drill, and what's going for that left, and it's always for the workers of the party. And see, it's still going. It's been going for like 5 minutes, and it's been going for a while, and it's been going for like 5 minutes. It's so long. It's so long, man. It never ends. And my brother there wearing some of that red, and he wearing some of that, you know, with the red. We got to get that North American Collective Workers Party, and I don't know how his day is going, if his finances are alright. He's wearing red, my favorite color, but if he ever needs a hug, I'm always open to the black, white, and brown, to the workers, washing some feet for the workers, North American Workers Collective Party. You know, we got to get that coast to coast, ocean to ocean. See, they got that drill there, and it's not all about millionaires, billionaires. His there, I don't know how his day is. I'm just financially stressed, but I could be of service to all my black brothers and white brothers and all North Americans. We got to, you know, we're going to be a new race, working free and liberty and secure, and we're going to channel the aggression in sports and fitness and, you know, violence and sexuality, aggression. We need to channel it. Dragon Army, we channel that aggression with push-ups and hugs, and it's still going. I can't believe it is still going. It's still going, and you know, I can't believe it is so long, so I got to be mindful of where they were built, and we need to rebuild a lot of infrastructure rebuilding here across the North American complex, and I believe my theories, philosophies, and how many trains going now. We got that CPK, of course, they were going on that strike, and they're going to go on CPK, and now they got for that CPK. When it's going to end, I'm going to start rolling, but I'm doing a meditation calling all to the North American Collective Workers Party, all my brothers and sisters. You know, we need to do more wages, and we need to get that DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, and imagine all the work to build the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and you know, labor in the 21st century. I believe got to be more centrist. My PPP, public-private partnership, to get that UE, Universal Exchange, to get the UE done, and to get that Phoenix People's Party. And you see, you got here what you got, and you got some of those beautiful big machinery which were built with brains and muscle, built with brains and muscle, built with brains and muscle. So many things I don't know, I know this bridge was built by public workers, and we got a lot of infrastructure to do. So I gotta salute the train conductors, LOV. Salutations, respect, and LOV to the train conductors, man, you know. Train conductors, butchers, bakers, and you know, it's the civilization. Truckers with it, and daycare workers changing diapers, and security forces. We got to reconcile, you know, with the security apparatus, and we got to get that security in service. And I'm not perfect, far from it. There is racism, probably subconscious. We have all sorts of dynamics, you know, because North Americans, we got my brothers and sisters who are blacks, 13.4% blacks, you know, and that. My neighbors included, and we gotta work. If I am to offer something on the table to my blacks, brothers and sisters, 13.3, kisses, hugs, tickles, whatever, feet washing, rock and roll, because that's what I got now. That's what I got. Money I don't have to sponsor, to finance, but you know, and whoever wants to make LOV with me when I march here on the island, 2.5 million people metropolis, black, white, or brown, gonna make some LOV with me, and we making love, you know. Black, white, and brown, free hugs, free kisses, and gotta get some rock and roll and fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport, and gotta meditate. See, this bridge needs rebuilding. Look at the bridge here. It's gotta need a lot of rebuilding down there, so that's what it is for that. And we gotta rebuild the bridge here, you know. There's something about rebuilding the bridge, and we gotta get it for that, you know. So we gotta get that LOV, you know. And we gotta fight racism, of course. We gotta fight also a lot of things, but we can do it Aspies, you know. We're a bit awkward in the manner that we do not console verbally necessarily. We will offer things, so that's a bit on the neurodivergence, you know. And when neurotypicals, we don't understand really gossip from a neurotypical perspective. Gossip, and from a Asperger's HFA perspective, we don't understand it. From our perspective, we understand as it's useless. It doesn't bring solutions, so we're kind of blocked, and we kind of more criticize or offer alternative solution and courses of actions, and alternative solutions if we can, of course. If we can, in matters where we could, in certain manners, if we can bring solutions, we will offer those solutions. We will offer the solutions instead of gossiping about people at workplaces or whatever the case may be in certain situations such as that. But that's what it is with that. So that's what we gotta get doing with the drill, and that's why we always gotta be interjection. I always gotta be meditating on everything that we have now in the privilege of civilization. And I think I'm not gonna go all the way to the river, although maybe I should. Should I go all the way to the river? Maybe should, maybe not. And that's why I gotta get it all the way. Okay, maybe we'll go to the river, and tomorrow we'll go to the mountain, and going all the way, see where it's at. There's somebody wearing red, and see where it's gonna end, and then interject, come back up, and because the game's starting soon, so I want to be late for the game. And he's wearing red, probably gonna go get those Habs, and of course in Ottawa, he's playing at home here in Montreal. So we're gonna go all the way to the top. We're gonna go all the way by that way. Maybe we can go by the side. Side there, we can go. It's a one way. Oh yeah, now we can cross. Although I gotta be prudent myself, you know, because if I cross here, I can go by this side, and we gotta get it on that side. Sometimes we gotta switch. Last time we went on another side here from Lachine, and gotta go all the way to the river, then come back and get to see that Habs game, you know, as we gonna go check on a little bit. If not, we're gonna just go back home and check it at home. If not, because I got like $6, and that's, you know, I have a lot of money with that to spend. I'm on a tight budget, financially stressed, but the coffee there where I go, it costs $3, so I can afford a coffee, get a refill, and give some tips, you know, give some 50 cents tips, you know. Gotta get a little bit of tips, you know. You know. You cannot not tip, you know. So anyways, Habs game tonight, and I'm excited about that, and gotta get for that excitement, and got a dog there, and Gotta be prudent for the dogs, you know. Because I got some allergies. Anyways, here we are, so I'm gonna discuss my theories, philosophies, the DRT, debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. Gotta run a little bit, and this one here needs some color, you know. This one here needs some color, but gotta get it for the interjection and pass by the side there and see if I can go by here, by the side. And how am I gonna go by that side? Yeah, that's the way to go, I guess. Otherwise I get into the highways. So, you know, can't get that route. You get a bit of rugged terrain here in Montreal, you know, different neighborhoods. Here we're getting on that Lachine, close to Lachine, and here we are, of course, in Acte Lachine, and we gotta get it for the go, we gotta get it for the dough, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. And we need a lot of cleaning here, you know, a lot of cleaning, and there's work to be done in North America, you know. There's work to be done in North America, you know. Here included, you know, it's the work, and see the workers. We gotta get it for that do, and gotta get it for the do, and there's a lot of cleaning which we gotta do, and there's a lot of cleaning here, you know. It's a lot of cleaning which gotta be done here, brothers and sisters. Is gotta keep it clean, you know. Just gonna put the trash there and make sure there's space. There's not that much space, but I'm gonna put it here with the trash and on top there, you know, so it doesn't fall, you know. And, my brothers, we got public workers. We gotta clean here, man. We gotta reconcile. We gotta get cleaning, baby. I don't mind getting dirty, you know. I don't mind getting dirty, but I got it's my own cleaning to do, you know. I'm not perfect, far from it, but we gotta get some clean, you know. Gotta get some cleaning, man. And grateful, thankful, rent paid, electricity bills paid, and not perfect, far from it. You know, I got dirty. I've been in places like this. I lived in a moldy place, you know, very moldy place. Very moldy place. I'm sick, diseased. I moved. I moved to a better place, you know. I moved to a better place. And so this one we gotta clean that. See, clean. There's a lot of cleaning in North America we gotta do, you know. Myself included, you know, not perfect, far from it. Not perfect, far from it, you know, but we got a lot of cleaning. I remember moving, got that surprise attack. I was attacked, you know. Surprise attack. I'm retrieving the medical records from the hospital. And this one, you know, how much it was building. I just noticed the first time that I noticed that is getting on that go now. We gotta get it for that go, you know. We gotta get it for the now. And how those metals were put there. I wonder, see? It's like a lot of metal there. Put it on that. Maybe, man. Metal, first time I noticed that. They're playing tonight against Ottawa.
Huh?
They're playing the Habs.
Yeah, tonight, yeah.
We're gonna win 4-3. Ottawa Senators. Hopefully, Bree. Yeah, starting soon, eh? Take care, buddy. Yeah, that halves, and it's gonna get it for that halves game, you know, and they're gonna play it a little bit of halves, and there's a little smile there, you know. I gotta get it for the LOV, man, you know. Somebody got a LOV, you know. It's love, you know. We gotta have some love for each other, you know, regardless of financial elements or whatever the case may be, you know. To give whatever we can give, you know, to get whatever we can do to get it on that go, and they're gonna win with that, and you know, it's harm none, you know, harm none. I play defense, you know. Defense like that pretty hardball ball, and you gotta get it for that love, you know. And we gotta get healing. It's not all about fight. It's everybody deserves second chances, you know. I just wish I would be a billionaire so I can give some money. I will go in November. I will go in December. I will go give to the vets. Here's 50,000. If I would have 44 big, I'll give 10%. Not be so selfish, you know. So selfish. Everybody deserves second chances and have some value, and to work and train and exercise and encourage people with fitness. And that's what I would do, you know, to encourage people with fitness and exercise. And of course, I played that defense, you know. Gotta play that defense 24/7 like that hardball ball, or like I'm defending Purdy and Brady in the Super Bowl. Now it's my time to pass, and I'm a bit obsessed about hygiene. So once I cross Best by the River, because I'm gonna have to press this one as well, I'm gonna have to get that cleaning disinfectant. Hey, somebody wearing red. Hello, V. Anybody want to make that good loving with me? And oh, this one's on the other side. So this one I'm not gonna press because this one gives to the other side. See how it's made? And I always wonder how it's made and in a geopolitical context, how it's made and how it's officiated to go that way. So it's always on that drill, always meditating now. Truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and fellow citizens there with a smile, with a cup of coffee. And see, I gotta meditate upon truckers now. Truckers in North America. LOV to the truckers. Public workers who build this. Hey, public workers of North America. They built all this. And see, sometimes I think we need a lot of brick building. How this was built here. How this was built here, you know? How this was built here, see? Sometimes I meditate because there's skills, knowledge, information I do not lack. But I am putting it in a geopolitical context. See, we got lots of work. This looks like it needs renewed, all of it. North American infrastructure, 21st century, it's been more than 50 years. More than 50 years, a lot of it, since 1977, eh? Since the 70s, eh? Mid to late 70s, I would say these ones, eh? Most of North America, 60s even. So there's a lot of work. 50s even, it started after the Second World War. The major highways like this one, you know? So I'm always putting it in a North American complex, because I'm a philosopher, and of course my theory is the North American civilizational complex, and of course civilization is a privilege. Civilization is a privilege, and as I pass now, going on here, going on the side, I always meditate how they were built and when they were built. This was probably the 70s to make a meditation when it was built. And of course the workers who build all the highways. Imagine all the work, brains and muscle to build the hydroelectric dams, all it is. So civilization is a privilege. Meditate on that the next time. Thank you, workers, whoever you are, who build the highways. This is an amazing feat of engineering. It takes a lot of work. How much work it took to build all this, that I guess perpendicular, with the cranes and everything like that. So wow, probably in the 70s, not sure, maybe 70s, 80s. Definitely a lot of work, eh? To build all that. You know, all of it there. See how it's made roundabout. So across North America, there's so much layers of cement. See, they put layers of cement on top of that cement, and of course, engineering, the engineers. You know, North American Corps of Engineers. Lots of engineering to build it. A lot of work to build it, you know. A lot of work to build all that. That's labor, brothers and sisters. That's work. To build the highways, that was work. That still is work. The bridges, build bridges, highways. Meditate. Now I'm meditating from a job again due to my Asperger's symptom, HFA. I put all these things into a geopolitical complex, a geopolitical situation from a North American perspective. Because as much as I am educated about the world affairs, international affairs, fundamentally, I am a North American. I am a North American. I am a North American. So I know North America. I know Quebec, Montreal. I have flashes for more than 7 years when I go on the mountains. Flashes of reincarnations, past life reincarnations. Flashes of reincarnations, past life. Flashes of reincarnations, past life. Flashes of reincarnations, past lives. Flashes of reincarnations and past lives. But mostly what I know is North America. Is North America. I am a North American Canadian Quebecer. I am for world peace, an admirer, a fan of those who build the bridges of North America. It's North Americans unite. It's North Americans unite, and gotta get it for that sun. Beautiful sunset over there, you know. Beautiful sunset, and gotta get it for the drill. And we always gotta meditate. Somebody give me a little bit of smile with that, and make me some beautiful smile, and smile back, you know. Smile back, smile back. And love you guys too, you know. Somebody came like a kind of smiled and nodded and whatever the case may be, but it's always on the drill, and it's always dragon marches a lot, rainbow dragon marches for years and years and years. You're gonna see hundreds of my workout training program video, and you know, marching for me is fitness. Working out I love. I'm obsessed. My obsessive interest is somebody who has a HFA, high functioning autism, and also known as Asperger's, being an Aspie. Do not dispute. I use both because some people object to the use of the other, but it's just the same symptoms, so there's no point in arguing which one to use. Asperger's, being an Aspie, or HFA, high functioning autism. HFA, high functioning autism, because fundamentally the same symptoms. Echolalia is a symptoms, meaning repeating the words that somebody says out loud, a phrase. Getting too close to comfort by approaching certain people, and having obsessive interest, and you know, utilizing too much academic, sophisticated, intellectual, cosmopolitan, verbose language when things can be overly simplified and being less complex. So that's another symptom. Breaching personal space and having social weirdness, weird mannerism, and one other symptom which sometimes people laugh, but I give permission to people to laugh at my Aspie, you know, being an Aspie. With HFA, I don't mind people. If I bring laughter and joy, the better. But I tend to inspect objects very close to the eye. So we tend to take some objects and really look at them. And sometimes we have a tendency to stare at people, at objects. So it's not out of malice, or it's just the symptoms, you know. We have social awkwardness, social weirdness. We're weirdos, but we're strong in the affairs. We're strong in our affairs. We are strong in our affairs. And our affairs are different, because mine can differ from yours. Mine is geopolitics, sports, dancing is my favorite sport, and rock and roll, that's my trinity of obsessive interests. Some other aspect, because I'm an individual, might be history, might be geography, might be infrastructure building, might be engineering, might be science. In a parallel life, I'm still an aspect, but there's science, technology and science. Those are my obsessive interests in that parallel life. Right? So now I will to discuss the DRT again for Poppa Crowley today. Poppa Crowley, go Thelemites, go Thelemites unite. North Americans unite. North Americans, we gotta get that unity. We gotta get that united, and we gotta get that together, and coast to coast, ocean to ocean defense, and we gotta finance the public-private partnership, the North American Collective Civilizational Complex, the complex of North American civilization. And we got that moon over there. We got Full moon getting on that kisses from the goddess, and you know I keep it fit, keep it in motion, and we always got to get that drill, and we always got to get that work. You know, so much work. Work, and I've been working independently for years and years and years. I created my own workout training program system. I created my own workout training program system. And here I meditate now because I just spotted a tower, antenna tower, which is 3G, 4G, 5G, 3G, 4G, 5G, 3G, 4G, 5G, 3G, 4G, or 5G, and I always meditate how they were built and in a geopolitical context for defense only, because my protocols, initiatives are fundamentally for what I call as a philosopher, the North American civilizational complex, the complex of North American civilization, the North American civilizational complex, the civilizational complex of North America, the North American civilizational complex, North America, the North American civilizational complex, you know. That's what it is with that, so that's what it is for the dues, you know. So here we are on the dues, and here we are marching, 6:43, oh, have starting soon, and please give to charity, NFL, National Football League, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Millionaires, billionaires, support, finance the dream. My dream manifesting as the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess kingdom are one, like the moon and the sun, for the North American Collective Democratic Republic, for the North American Union, the North American Collective, for the North American Collective Workers' Party, for the North American Collective Workers' Party, for the North American Collective Workers' Party. Trillions of kisses I got by the trillions. Money, I'm $10,000 in debt, but the DRT, which I'm going to discuss now, is the only solution, brothers and sisters. I can state, paradoxically, having struggled from Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism, suffered depressions, being suicidal, and survived COVID 2020, February, March, and ever since there, we gotta get it on that interjection, and we gotta get that HFA, you know. So that's all we gotta get doing with that, and gotta get for the DRT, debt refusion theory. DRT, the only solution. Now where we are is the D for debt, R for refusion, T for theory. The DRT, debt refusion theory. DRT, debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. The D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. That is what it is. The D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. The debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. That's what it is. The D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. So it's the only solution. So why do I make that statement? I make that statement because today we pay 46.5 billion in interest. 46.5 billion in interest. That's the amount of interest we pay for the fiscal year 2023-2024. 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. 46,000 million. 46,000 million. A billion has 9 zeros, 1,000. A billion is 1,000 million, eh? Just gonna stretch my back a little bit here 5 times towards the moon. Moon kisses every time the moon, full moons. I get credited a trillion other kisses. Anybody wants kisses and support, build the 3. I will to build 3 complexes, buildings. Forgotten Goddess Temple, I will to build. Credit trillions of kisses, feet washing to the construction workers, salutations on those cranes, those steel toes, knowledge, and you know, welders, all in it for the workers, and gotta get it for that goal, and we gotta get that salutations. And I will to build the Forgotten Goddess Temple on the mountain parallel to the pyramid, red scarlet pyramid, house of the dragon, the red scarlet pyramid, the house of the dragon, the house of the dragon, the red scarlet pyramid, the house of the dragon, the red scarlet pyramid on top of the mountain. And the third one is the Rainbow People's Palace for my fellow LGBTQ community, being myself a member of the LGBTQ community. You know, we gotta get that member of the LGBTQ community, and that's why we gotta go do it and drill with that for North America, for the collective, for the collective, for the collective, for the collective, you know. So that's what we got to get doing and see all those truckers. Oh yeah, it needs a lot of rebuilding. And my DRT theory, the best way to rebuild the infrastructure of North American collective complex, left, right, and center, 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 left, right, and center. So what is the DRT? And again, I do make this statement due to the fact that today we pay a staggering amount of interest, debt servicing. Debt servicing is just a fancy term to say the interest that we pay on the debt. So we pay 46.5 billion in interest, 46.5 billion in interest, 46.5 billion in interest. That's 46,000 million. My brothers and sisters, there's no way out of this. But paradoxically, my DRT theory standing for D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. For D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. For D, DRT, debt refusion theory. For debt refusion theory. For D, RT. For D, debt refusion T theory. For debt refusion theory, you know. The debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange unit. The D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. That is the only solution. 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 D, debt, R, refusion, T for theory. So that is the only solution, brothers and sisters. There's no other solution. There's no other solution but the DRT due to the fact that we pay 46.5 billion in interest. That is the only solution. So I'm going to explain it. And I keep in mind that we paid in interest. Listen to this. So we paid before 46. Before now, today we pay 46. Before we paid 46, we paid 20.3 in 2020, 2021, the fiscal budget, fiscal year 2020, 2021. We paid We paid 20.3 due to COVID, which I had. COVID was like death, pestilence, and disease. COVID for me, when I had it in 2020, February, March, was like death, pestilence, and disease. When I had COVID for me, it was like death, pestilence, and disease. I know it sounds like a hardcore song, like death, pestilence, and disease on all my enemies, please. But really how I felt. So that's how I felt, you know. That's how I felt. So here we go towards the sunset. We gotta get those 5 lights, and gotta get for the ambulance drivers for the XYZ, and we gotta get it for that cleaning, you know. So it's always important, you know, to get that clean, and that's what it is with that. So always gotta get those interjections, and somebody lost some. The DRT debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the DRT debt refusion theory, DRT debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange unit, you know. That's what it is, and that's what we need to be doing. The DRT, due to the fact that we pay 46.5 billion in interest, 46.5 billion in interest, 46.5 billion in interest, 46.5 billion in interest, 46, that's 20.3 times 2, that's 40.6, 40.6, you know, 20.3 times 2, that's of course 40.6, that's what it is, 40.6, that's what it is. That's what it would have been double from 2020, 2021. It's more than double now. It's 46.5. 20.3 times 2, that's 40.6. Now it's 46.5. That's how much it is now. It's amazing. It's a staggering number. There's no other way out of this but my DRT, paradoxically. So that's why I make that statement. Because it's a fact, due to the fact that paying interest on the debt is more than double. 20.3 times 2 would have been 40.6. It's 46.5, so it's more than double in just in 3 years. Gotta write this to my auntie, Christa Freeland. citizen, Minister of Finance, and Bill Blair. Not Bill Blair, correction. Tiff Mackler, Bank of Canada governor. This has to be implemented. Canada first, North America. So I'm going to explain the DRT. Keep in mind that my DRT theory stands for D, debt refusion, R, refusion, T for theory, includes monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union. Is exactly what was done in the European Union. That is monetary integration theory. That's what monetary integration theory is. It's a financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. In the 90s, it started after the Second World War, and gradually they adopted a common currency. The Germany destroyed their own currency and their own central bank. Italy destroyed their own central bank and their own currency. The France also. They created a common bank. They created a common bank. The ECB, European Central Bank. The European Central Bank, the European Central Bank, the ECB, the European Central Bank. They created the ECB, the European Central Bank. That's what they created. The ECB, the European Central Bank. They created the ECB, the European Central Bank. The ECB, European Central Bank. That's what they created. The ECB, the European Central Bank. They created the ECB, the European Central Bank. The ECB. They created the ECB, and now they issue a new currency, the euro. The European Bank, ECB. They issue a new currency, the euro. Of course, the ECB issues the euro, so that's what it is. There's no other way around this now. Where it is, the DRT, debt refusion theory, there's no other solution. Gotta get for the bikes, man. Bicycle cyclists, yeah, that's why I stay on the side, because I don't want to interfere. There's 555 bikers there passing, and five bikes. So the DRT is the only solution. Debt refusion theory, DRT, debt refusion theory, DRT, for the creation of the UE. So I'm going to explain it as simple as I can again. Because due to Asperger's, of course, I have the symptoms, of utilizing too much complexity, academic, scholarly, intellectual, cosmopolitan linguistics and language, which is not proponent or is not really required or necessary. So the DRT includes monetary integration. Monetary integration is also it's what they did in the European Union. So the DRT, we're going to take all the public and the private debt, We're going to take all the public and the private debt, my 10,500, my 10,500, yours, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, all the debt, public and private, all the debt, public and private, all the debt, my 10,500, your 10,500, my 10,500, all the debt, public and private debt. So all the debt, we're going to take it, of course, all in. So the coast to coast, ocean to ocean, all the public and the private debt. So including my 10,000. So my 10,000, your 10,000, our 10,000, whatever the debt is. So all the $10,000, all the $10,000, whatever the case may be, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be, we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. 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 So my 10,500, yours, ours, and gotta get it all the XYZ. And let's see. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, we'll have to implement it. We'll have to implement it. We're gonna have to implement it. All the DRT debt refusion theory. Sarà l'inese. Diasporost. Anyways, so the DRT debt refusion theory, the debt refusion theory, we're gonna take all the debt, public and private debt. So my 10,000, and I'm excited. The curse of Asperger's, I present a blessing on the table. The DRT debt refusion theory. We're gonna take all the debt, public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. So my 10,000, including yours, all of it, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast. All the debt, public and private debt. All the debt, public and private debt, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. All the debt, public and private, including my 10,000. Of course, it's going to need to be added on. So it's going to be a good addition. It's going to be mathematically, it's going to be a staggering number. 10,000 of mine is to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, whatever you have, whatever I have, whatever. All the debt, public and private, all that debt, that's going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. So all the debt will be initial money supply. We're going to have to do the conversion to US dollars though, because the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global commerce. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. Public and the private debt, public and the private debt. Public and the private debt, public and the private debt. Public and the private debt, public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt. All the public and the private debt, 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 all the public and the private debt. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, my 10,000, your 10,000, my 10,000, your 10,000, whatever the case may be, whatever the case may be, you know, whatever the case may be. So all the debt, public and private, public and private, public and private, and we're gonna get it all the debt, and this one we're gonna get it for that debt, and then we're gonna be doing on the DRT debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt, including my 10,000, your 10,000, all the debt, public and private, all my 10,000, your 10,000, so all the debt, public and private, my 10,000, your 10,000, all the debt, public and private debt, we're going to convert it to US dollars. All the debt, public and private, we're going to do the conversion. So coast to coast, ocean to ocean, we're going to convert it to US dollar because the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global commerce, import, export, and external affairs. Those five things, but many others. So I'm going to go all the way to the top. We're going to go hydrate and then circumvent, come back. So finish the DRT, debt from switch to that French, of course. Here we're in Lachine Canal. We made it to Lachine, the old port. So not the port, but the Lachine Canal. So the DRT going to take all the debt, public and private. We're going to convert all the public and the private debt to US dollars, to US dollars, to US dollars. All that number is going to be a new bank. The initial money supply for a new bank. All that debt, public and private, is going to be the initial money supply for a new bank. Is going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. Wow, the sky is so beautiful. Beautiful lidded no. Hail Papa Crowley, happy birthday fool. Happy birthday fool, happy birthday fool, happy birthday fool, happy birthday fool. Beautiful sky, beautiful stars, beautiful stars. So we're gonna get that DRT, and we're gonna create it, do it, of course, to the XYZ, and that's what we're gonna get doing with that, and that's what we're gonna go doing, and that's what we do, you know. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt, all the public and the private debt. We're gonna be doing it, and all the public and the private debt. We're gonna be doing it with that. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt. My debt, $10,000 to the Royal Bank of Canada. Your debt, our debt, all the debt, public and private debt. We're gonna do the conversion to US dollars. Canada first, United States, then Canada, Mexico, Haiti, Cuba. Cuba is a paradox, but Jamaica. The islands are part of the collective North American complex. They're part of North America. Mexico, some go even more countries. I'm able to make compromise, blah, blah, blah. Canada first. DRT, debt refusion treaty, includes monetary integration treaty. We're going to take all the public-private debt. My 10,000 to the RBC, yours, coast to coast, all the public-private debt converted to US dollars, added with the US public-private debt, and then whoever else wills. Canada first, United States second, third, Mexico if they will. It could be transatlantic, NORAD, NATO, or military alliance of NATO, blah, blah, blah. But North American collective, North America first. And that money, all the public-private debt converted to US dollars, is going to finance the new central bank. The initial money supply for a new central bank, the initial money supply for a new central bank, the initial money supply for a new central bank, North American central bank, to issue a new currency, the ECB, like the ECB, and like the European Central Bank, to issue a new currency called the UE. Universal E dot exchange unit, UE. Based on the value of the US dollar. We're going to set an interest rate level of 10%. It could be 3.33, 7.70, 9.3, 6.1, 4.18, 7.18, below 10 by principle. Below 10 by principle. Below 10 by principle. Below 10 by principle. So below 10 by principle, we're going to be able to do it. And look at that beautiful sun. Red in rising, red in setting. The sun now rises some areas. The sun sets here. But I don't know how the camera captivates it, but it's just beautiful. I love that sunset. So all the debt, public and private, 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 all the debt, public and private. We're gonna convert it to US dollars, right? So all that money is gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank, for a new central bank, for a new central bank, for a new central bank. So all the money supply is gonna be the debt converted to US dollar. We're gonna create a new currency, the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, the UE, maximum interest rate level of 10%. With that money, we're gonna be able to rebuild the infrastructure of the collective North America, of North American complex. Finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. Finance citizens for tourism, and based on a document which I've written, of course, part of the initiative, because tourism and going out and crossing Canada coast to coast was my medicine, my wake up, my rebirth. So to mass finance citizens to travel, inter-tourism travel, you know, inter-tourism travel. So we gotta get it on that go. So tourism travel across North American integrated citizen integrated projects and initiatives for tourism, for people to go travel Canada coast to coast, parallel to traveling Canada coast to coast, and parallel to getting Canada coast to coast, and of course for mass building tunnels for in case of a thermonuclear war, building tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war, in case of building tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war. We're gonna build a little bit of those tunnels here, tunnels there, and we gotta get it on that drill for that. And that's what we gotta go doing on the XYZ, and that's what I gotta go doing with that. So here I'm gonna get that hydration, go all the way there, all the way there. We gotta get it for that go, and here we gotta get it for this. We gotta get it for that hydration. We gotta get hydrated. Thank you. See you here. You cannot see, but you can hear. You cannot see, but you can hear. So I'm gonna hear my gratitude to the workers who build, of course, underneath aqueducts for us to have clean water. All the systems we take for granted. Civilization is a privilege, and also putting this in a context, geopolitical context. Let's go rock and roll, hydrate. Oh yeah, that was 44, a little bit more than 44, close to 45, close to 5 seconds of hydration. So the DRT is the only solution. With that money, all the public-private debt is going to finance a new money, the UE. We're going to create a new currency based on the value of the US dollar, the UE. We're going to be able to rebuild the infrastructure, finance citizens to work out, train, exercise, finance citizens for tourism, rebuild the infrastructure, and of course, we're going to be able to build mass tunnels, 44 tunnels across North America, just like in those Tokyo, tunnels, of course, to be able to go on the ground, and when nuclear war, mountains, open up some mountains, and build more hydroelectric dams, and build more, of course, infrastructure, of course, for renewal, and that's what we're gonna go do it with that, and that's what we're gonna go do it with that, and that's what they're gonna go do it with that, and that's what they're gonna go do it with the doing, and also that's what they're gonna go do it with that. So it's XYZ, and it's always now getting on those protocols, and always getting for the XYZ as we go for the love, and that's what it is for that, and that's the DRT for the creation of the UE, the only solution. We gotta get doing with that, and gotta get doing for the DRT, for the UE, for the universal exchange, and we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we gotta go doing with the DRT, debt refusion theory, and we gotta go doing for the doing, and that's what I gotta go doing for that, and they're always getting for that interjection, and they're always getting for me now, and you, and us, and all of it, we're going for that DRT, for the creation of the UE, that's what we're gonna get doing with that, and we're gonna get doing for the XYZ, and for the lovers, and for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, for the doctors, for all those those, of course, getting on that interjection, and all those getting on the interjection for now. And we got to turn around and get on that drill and go back for these polls. Thank you, Hydro-Quebec workers, to get it on the go and get it on the go now. And that's what it is for that. And that's what it is when they're getting on that love and they're getting on that love drills and they gotta do a little bit of loving, you know. Somebody hopefully making love today. If not love, what are we fighting to defend for? What are we fighting to defend for? They gotta get it on that big rainbow booty for generals only, you know. Big rainbow booty for generals only. Big rainbow booty for generals only. We gotta get it on that drill. Get it on that drill, and we gotta get it for the hydrate. Get it for the XYZ, and for the lovers, butchers, bakers, nurses. You know, all those involved in the production, distribution of food. All those, of course, we gotta get it on that hydration, and we gotta get it for their lovers. You know, and all those systems built and building more satellites on defense. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. 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 That's how we gotta do for that. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Sun shining somewhere in the world. Sunset, sunrise. DRT. That refusion theory. DRT, that refusion theory. We're gonna get it on the go, and we're gonna get it on the know, and then we're gonna get it for doing, and then we're gonna get it for the upset and get it for the now, and that's what it is for that, and for the DRT. That refusion theory for the creation of the UE. That's what we gotta do. Anyways, DRT. DRT, that refusion theory for the creation of the UE, is the only solution. The only solution for the creation of the UE. Gonna stretch a little bit, all the way Canada Habs to Ottawa. Those Ottawa Senators coming into Montreal, and they're gonna give some charity soon. Reduce the cost, please, by 44.9%. 44.9%. Please, reduce those tickets, those costs. Let's go, rock and roll. On the march, here we go. DRT is the only solution. The debt refusion theory, my brothers and sisters, you can argue all you want, but there's the only solution is the DRT. At this point where we are now with paying 46.5 billion, we're gonna have to create the UE based on the US dollar. U dot universal, U dot exchange unit. The UE, that's how I'm calling on my astrological brother Scorpio, Bill Gates, Scorpio, of Black Rock and Blackstone are two different financial institutions. Larry Fink, another Scorpio of Black Rock, not Blackstone, they're different ones. And Larry, of course, Joe Biden is another Scorpio. It could be Sagittarius, Pisces, Leos, all the astrological signs. But of course, I'm saying because due to the fact that, of course, it takes a public-private partnership. Oh yeah, somebody cooking, eating. Good appetit, bon appetit. Come eat some French cuisine if you're tourists. Tourists here, we got great French cuisine. We got great cheese, great lettuce, great cheese. Great lettuce, great cheese, and that's what we're gonna get doing with that. Great lettuce, great cheese, and we got great firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and got me 5 seconds to cross safely. And you know, when I cross there, I have to not forget to disinfect the hands because I still got some buttons to press until I calculate exactly until I have to get to my place. The last one where I have to press a button is gonna be at the intersection. So I'm calculating strategically, you know, because I use the thumb and I only use usually the left thumb, and just to, you know, to be strategic about public hygiene and putting it into a context of geopolitics and worst case scenario bacteriological weaponry, things which, you know, we got to take into consideration. Armed Forces of Canada for defense, national defense, put a new protocol. I will say to my love to my citizen Bill Breda, you gotta be changing some diapers before you put on a uniform, because you know mercs. I don't want nothing to do with mercenaries. Let them not cross the Atlantic nor the Pacific, and I want to do nothing to do at all with mercenaries, with mercs. I do not want to have anything to do with mercenaries. I do not have to do anything to do with mercenaries, you know. With mercenaries, I don't want to do anything to do with mercs. So that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with the Go, and that's what it is with the XYZ, and that's what we're gonna get doing with the drill, and we're gonna get that finance, you know. Get that public-private partnership, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, 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 the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. That is the kingdom laying the foundation with 700 trillions of kisses for the kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, laying the foundations, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom for the North American Union, North American Collective Union, the North American Collective Union, the North American Collective Union, the North American Civilizational Complex. And see, here in Montreal, Quebec, we go on different routes, explore. Sometimes we get a little bit of that exploration here in the dark. Now we in Lachine. Oh, it's gonna let me pass. It's gonna letting me pass out of courtesy. I appreciate it. I just waited for the hand to be waved, and you know, because of course we gotta cross this safely, and I always turn my head left and right 3 times because, you know, there's brakes might malfunction. What if the brakes malfunction? What if the brakes can malfunction? The citizen driver can press the accelerator instead of the brakes. Solar flare, you know, moment, you know, presses the accelerator instead of the brake. These are things which now I'm being in the public myself. I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations which I don't have under the normal circumstances of life. Thank you, Hydro-Quebec, for the lights. Maybe one day I can come and work out there, but I'm doing my workout march here on the Saturday Sabbath, and Sabbath of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom begins, of course, at midnight, Friday, so it's the Sabbath until tomorrow, sunset, and Monday we got, of course, the fingerprints, not the fingerprints, we got Thanksgiving, so gotta salute. I love this red truck. It's not that visible on the camera, but it's of course red, and as almost all of them here are red, and that's what we're gonna go doing with that. And I always meditate, and I love red, my favorite, and always of course encounter and envision, of course, what those red trucks would be. And for the service, Dragon Army, public-private partnership, support the initiatives, the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions. Hey, go for those houses, go to those houses, go. They're my family there, and that family there, they see it. We gotta get it for the XYZ. Yes. Anyways, gotta get it for that XYZ, and my cousins here, my family, so I gotta defend them coast to coast, I gotta get that defense coast to coast, So that's what we gotta get doing with that. We gotta get that defense, man. And then my cousins passing, my family here, Quebec Canadians. I got your back coast to coast, and I gotta get that Dragon Army coast to coast. And we're Quebecers. We got a lot of good. We got a lot of good here. We got a lot of doing of farms and building of hydroelectric dams, building of culture. We got culture. We got a lot of things. So only come and eat a little bit of that French Canadian cuisine. French cheese, French wine, French SAQ. We got a lot of hydroelectric dams which do not pollute. We need to build more, and we give to 5 or 6 states, and we're just picky about the language, picky about the language, we gotta picky about the language, we gotta picky about the language, and we gotta get a little bit of that XYZ to LOV, I got their backs. As much as I am strange and weird and Asperger's, consider Quebecers, Canadians, my family here, North Americans, and 7 years ago across Canada and Quebec when I went east and then west. I went west to British Columbia 2017, and I went west across Quebec, across Canada. Was an illumination. I said there's so much things to do, so much things to worth fighting for, worth fighting for here, my Quebec family, Quebec Canadian, North American, because I was born in the US twice, 3 times, so North Americans unite, you gotta get that North Americans united. Bonne soirée. Canadien veut gagner à soir, vous pensez?
Pardon? On aimerait bien, mais on sait pas.
Je vous chante une petite chanson puis je m'en vais.
On a plein de chansons dedans.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez? Du bon dommage?
Oh, je sais pas, il y a toutes sortes d'affaires, là, eux autres, là.
Ok. Je voulais pas vous déranger de même, c'est parce que j'avais une chanson dans la tête quand je vous ai vu ici. J'ai dit, mes tantes sont en train de fumer, et puis placote de rien. Vous l'avez aimé celle-là?
De tout et de rien.
De tout et de rien.
Pas mal ça en plus. Ah oui, vraiment, t'es tombé dessus.
Je voulais pas vous déranger, vous m'avez checké la game.
C'est bien correct.
C'est juste que je chante du rock'n'roll, là. Puis,
Elle est encore là?
bye bye.
Bye, bonne soirée.
Bonne soirée, bonne soirée. Ouais, oui. Anyways. I did a little that's a little bit of French rock and roll, man, like those are my cousins there, my cousins, and I got their backs, This is my not really my cousins, but my aunties, aunties there, my aunties were there, and I love them, and You know, we're thinking about the language, and that's it. That's all with that, and that's all we gotta do with that. And they're there, and see my brothers and sisters in uniform. You know, we gotta get that North American great reconciliation, and they're there smoking, hurting nobody. But somebody gotta get love, man. You gotta get love, man. You gotta have love for my fellow Quebecers, which I do. Which I do. You know, with Asperger's, I'm a bit intense, so maybe people think I'm weird a bit. A bit on the weird side, but they're there, man, and they're all, if I'm open for love, I'm open for love and rock and roll, you know, but it's not that, I might be mistaken for, Asperger's is intense, especially when I rock and roll, but they like that rock and roll, you know, they're there, and, they're they laughed. It's comedy. My rock and roll friends, rock and roll is comedy, but they loved it and said they're there smoking, speaking about nothing. They're there smoking. My aunties are there having a smoke, speaking about nothing. My aunties are there having a smoke. They're speaking about nothing. My aunties are there having a smoke, speaking about nothing. They're in the community, Lachine, you know. I'm Quebecer, Canadian, North American. You know, personally, I do not consider myself a member of a diaspora. I do not consider myself a member of a diaspora. I do not consider myself a member of a diaspora. You know, I am Quebecer, and I'm gonna go cross a little bit of the street to see that witch, and you know, I don't have like sentimentality about ancestry really, although I do believe in reincarnations, and maybe that's the predominant part of me, because I believe and I know to have been born here in past lives as a man, as a woman, as a man and as a woman, and you know, we're gonna get married in North America. I'm gonna propose to my anonymous friend again, but I really like the blessing here. I really like the blessing here, and that's a little witch, that's a little witch, that's a little witch, that's a little witch. Gotta get it for that love, and you know, I'm a bit weird with Asperger's. I don't want to bother them, but probably if they know what Asperger's is, maybe they know what Asperger's is, high functioning autism, but maybe they don't. So, but that's my obsessive interest, rock and roll. So I had a little bit of that good rock and roll for them. They loved, and keep in mind that I'm freestyling rock and roll, and they laughed there. They laughed a bit. So that was funny. Ils étaient placotés de tout et de rien. Placotés de tout et de rien. Ils sont en train de fumer une cigarette. Placotés de rien. It rhymes. I am rock and roll, you know. I'm an artist, and rock and roll is part of my main trinity of obsessive interest, you know. Rock and roll, geopolitics, you know. Rock and roll, rock and roll, and sports dancing is my favorite sport. Fitness, and you know, I played that 50-50, man, woman. Sometimes I was born a woman here. I served the Coureur de Bois, and I was born in the USA 3 times, twice as a man, once as a woman. You get that 50-50 now. I served in the United States Armed Forces, you know. Served in the United States Armed Forces, 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 and that's what it is with that. And that's why I got that moon there, and you know, I like to get that moon and get that goddess. I do say goddess, and in my spiritual teachings, you know, I do say goddess in my spiritual teachings, you know. Although I didn't want to stay too long because I don't smoke myself smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes. I do not 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 smoke cigarettes, and you know, that's what it is. I do not smoke cigarettes. Very rarely some cannabis or that legal cannabis here in Quebec, which we have very good ones. But once again, my DRT theory is the only solution, brothers and sisters. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. I do encourage regular physical fitness. It is my medicine and therapy of choice. I lost more than between 80 and 93 pounds. 80 minimum, my 80, maybe 93.5, maybe between 80 pounds and 93.5 pounds estimated. Between 80 pounds and 93.5. So between 80 and 93. That's about it, you know. Now we're gonna switch to that French. Be careful when I cross the street, you know. Sometimes they can come fast and not look around, and then I can get a little bit of a for the scoop. So always interesting about that. And always interesting about all the work that's going on now. And you know, I gotta be thinking about the 3G, 4G, 5G. In a parallel life, I know there's waves, but so many things I don't know. In a parallel life, I build microchips, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, antennas, and all things to do with telecommunications and ICBM rockets. I build in a parallel life. I'm also an Aspi. I have Asperger's, also known as HFA, high functioning autism. But in that parallel life, my obsessive interest is science, technology, mathematics, logics, everything to do with astrophysics. So basically science, technology-based astrophysics, mathematics, logic. So that's what I do. And with a parallel life with German scientists, United States German scientists, United States German scientists, United States German scientists, United States German scientists, German scientists from the Germany, United States and Canada, US, Germany led. We built kind of a type of supercomputers connected with satellites for defense, security service, and webcams to monitor the public spaces of NATO. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. So kind of like a Skynet in a parallel life. Me with other 6 main scientists and others, of course, assisting workers and brains and muscle. So that's what I need to do, and we need to get going with the drills, and that's why we always get that interjection, So here we're gonna be that French, La Belle Province, and once again, the DRT theory, debt refusion theory, is the only solution. There's no other solution now. Where we are today, there's no solution because we pay 46.5 billion in interest. So paradoxically, I bring to the table a solution for the public finances of much of North America, Canada, US. United States is in the same position, paying much interest on the public debt. My brothers and sisters, we're gonna be able to rebuild infrastructure. It's not just gonna be for me, Not just gonna be for me. It's gonna be not just for me, but it's gonna be for me, for you, for us, For us, For us. For us all, black, white, and brown, all North Americans. The workers and those who come to join us. Because we got continuing migration, right? Me, I'm a centrist, eh? My centrism is revolutionary. What I call universal revolutionary centrism. But my universal revolutionary centrism is North American centric. It's public-private partnership based. It's North American centric. North America is a civilizational complex, as an emergent civilizational complex, as a civilizational complex of North America. A North American civilizational complex. North America, on the island. Here I died during COVID. I'm being reborn. I also died before 2017. I was surprise attack. I lived that surprise attack years ago. I've survived it. I got that dislocated. Get those archives. Gonna come soon, I guess. The archives from the hospital. And I got that right arm. And that's what I got that right arm with it. And that's what I got that right arm for it. And that's that right arm, was dislocated and kind of fell down. So I got a blackout. I got rah. Retrograde amnesia. So I got blackouts of memory. I mostly remember the past years, on the island. And then I got flashes of blackouts. I know I have a high school diploma and several recommendations, whatever the case may be, but that's about I drill it with that. So that's where about that goes, So it's always working on training, exercising, fitness, and fitness, workout, train, exercise, and that's what it is with that. And I interject. I'm not perfect, far from it, but I'm grateful, thankful. Electricity bills paid, got food, got coffee, and it's 24/7 workers, North American Collective Workers Party, always meditating now. truckers, construction workers, warehouse workers, so much brain, so much labor. We gotta get it for that go, Habs go. Give some charity, reduce the cost, Give some charity, millionaires, support. Everybody gotta be in a public-private partnership to support defense, coast to coast, North American Union, the North American Collective, the integrated institutions for emergency response also. Look at what we're living. Emergency response also. Look at what we just lived through. You gotta get that emergency response. We lived the tough times. Go North Carolina, go. Gotta send some love, to that North Carolina, man. Gotta send some of that love to that North Carolina, Gotta send some of that love to that North Carolina, Gotta send some love to North Carolina, Gotta send some LOV to North Carolina. Gotta send some of that love, I myself heal, heal. And sometimes I am hyper vigilant, I am hyper vigilant. I have hypervigilance. I am hypervigilance. Probably because of those flashes of trauma and lots of scars, left with lots of scars, and survived a lot of things, and here I am, it's always playing defense, and I am hyper vigilant. So I'm gonna press the button here again with the thumb, but I'm gonna disinfect all hands once I reach the post. After I cross that way, I know there's no more buttons to press, right? So once I reach that point, I know, calculating, because I know the area, that there's not going to be another pill which I'm going to pass. So having pressed, and I usually only press with the left hand, of course, in terms of geopolitical context, bacteriological, bacteria, microbes and germs, personal hygiene, and I get dirty but I get back clean. But personal hygiene is something, of course, which I'm aware of, and don't mind me, I still got to clean a little bit for that, and a little bit for that cleaning, and then we're gonna go across the street safely. So anyways, that's what it is with that. With the statement that I made, of course, was concerning the public hygiene and the microbes, bacteria, germs that can possibly be on that, So it's always thinking, always meditating about the bacteria and germs, and I put it in a geopolitical context based, of course, with my theory, of course, which happened in October 2019. In October 2019, when I had predicted an international conflagration, in October 2019, I had predicted an international conflagration. October 2019, I had predicted an international conflagration. October 2019, I predicted an international conflagration. Back in October 2019, in a general manner, I predicted what's happening now. Not in an overall manner, in an overall general manner, yes, but not in a detailed manner. Not in a detailed manner. Not in a detailed manner. So in a general manner, I predicted an international conflagration back in October 2019, due to me being an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, having Asperger's, being an ASPI, HFA, high functioning autism. Due to that fact, that's why I predicted it. Because geopolitics is 24/7 with me, and I do theoretical analysis and analyzing and theorizing, and all the analysis which I do, and it's on the 24th basis, it's on a 24/7 basis, It's a constant thing, geopolitics with me. It's not just one thing that happens on the daily, it's something which is 24/7, even now. Marching and meditating, of course, from a geopolitical perspective on the highways, the cars, the oil prices. It's a constant thing with yours truly. So from a geopolitical concordant, from a geopolitical perspective, as an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst, security, service, and defense, even now, Habs games, in terms of the security, of sabotage, potential sabotage by foreign hostile actors, foreign hostile actors, because now we as me and you, or me personally, because I didn't make any political decisions. My first and foremost as a North American is for the security, safety, defense, and rebirth, and coast-to-coast defense, strong defense, DDD, like that, hardball ball, where my 49ers lost, or the 13-3 lowest ever score Super Bowl, which I love, that Tom Brady winning 13-3 against the Rams, and then Tom Brady when he was 44, almost 45, winning another one. That defense, strong defense, and the true north, strong and free. We gotta get with that strength and freedom. We gotta get some loving. True north, strong and free, yes, but also loving, justice, and prosperity as well. Prosperity as well, and to be less selfish. I'm not totally selfless, but ain't no way if I would have millions and billions, I would not finance other people to do other people's fitness, physical fitness, give people second, third chances. Most people deserve second, third chances. Myself, I got mine. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. I would say, if I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. If I would have stayed where I used to live, I would have probably been dead or in jail. And I'm not crossing that side, I'm crossing this side. And now this is the highway. I always meditate all the highways. Canada, US, Mexico, going all the way to Mexico City with the railway conductors, the butchers, and, all those on the road now. Truckers carrying tens of thousands of goods. That bread, that bacon, that milk, that sausage, that cheese. Go truckers, go. Gotta rock and roll for the truckers, gotta rock and roll for the bakers, gotta rock and roll for the butchers, gotta rock and roll 24/7 for the general workers of the collective North American civilizational complex. North Americans United, the rock and roll 24/7. Rock and roll of the North American civilizational complex. We gotta be safely crossing the streets, and we got safety, we got liberty, and then we gotta secure and ensure liberty and security. We gotta ensure liberty, security, and we gotta rebuild the infrastructure. Infrastructure of North America gotta be a lot of rebuild. See, meditate all the work which has been done across North America. So many cars, 24/7 cars, trucks by the tens of thousands, LOV truckers, LOV butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, ambulance drivers. Gotta get it on that. That's an aspy thing, and I know I'm working on it. It's just now when I cross, I'm gonna wash my hand there with disinfectant because I got that disinfectant. So this is the last one after the road, and we're gonna switch it to that French, and gotta meditate now, all the truckers, how many trucks carrying bread, how many trucks carrying milk. Gotta secure coast to coast defense, case of a thermonuclear war, case of an invasion. Gotta meditate. What about an invasion from the east or from the west? We took positions. There could be that I'm going back home, and that the Republic of China, known as Taiwan, the island of Taiwan, is getting invaded by the People's Republic of China, the two Chinas. They have an unresolved conflict from the 20th century. It could be that they're going to be an invasion. Like last year, a year and a half ago, China surrounded Taiwan. Remember that drill? China surrounded Taiwan. China's army, the PLA, surrounded Taiwan. People's Liberation Army, founded by Mao Zedong. By Mao Zedong. That's another unresolved conflict. No matter what I say, how much I say, proclaim myself about the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China is the People's Republic of China, founded by Mao Zedong. And of course, they got their interests, their ideologies, as much as I know. And if you want to discuss China's philosophy, ideology, politics, dynamics, and sociology, you have to have a little bit of knowledge about the governance of China. If you have a little bit of knowledge about the governance of China, then we can discuss. But if not, you have to learn it a bit. And myself, as a theoretical geopolitical analyst and theorist, I know the governance of China. Until then, we cannot really engage in a dialogue or a conversation, but we can in certain matters, but not in a deep analytical deep sense. We cannot really. My turn to cross the street, although turn my head left or right regardless, because you never know. Some people rush. There's whatever it is on the roads, and it's 24/7 XYZ, and we got to get for that hydration, we got to get for that doing, and it's always on the go now. It's always when I go, it's always a theoretical analysis, and it's always something which I meditate upon: safety, security, with liberty, prosperity. And I'm not perfect, far from it. I do not hide my weirdness and my strangeness and my scars. Even I've discussed it in past YouTubes. I have scars on my genitalia, and stuff like that. So whatever the case may be, so androgynous genitalia. So I scratch less because the goddess priestess, or the goddess priestess made me a special ointment. So not omen, but special ointment, which I have applied, and I scratch less. And now, even sometimes it goes that rocket big, that rocket rainbow dragon big cock. Rainbow dragon big cock. Sometimes. Minimum once a day, maximum 5 times a day. It can go rainbow dragon rocket. Being androgynous, pansexual. But yeah, I have a scar on my androgynous clit cock clit, cock pussy, whatever you want to call it. So. Anyways, but I'm a centrist, and no need to spy on me, CSIS, and I've worked with CSIS. I worked to work with all security apparatus in terms of defense as a geopolitical analyst. And no need to spy on me, police of Russia, Putin's henchmen, and Xi Jinping's henchmen. No need to cross the ocean. No need to cross the Atlantic. No need to cross the Pacific. We're good here in North America. We're good. We got a lot of work to do ourselves, and we're going to work North America, and we're going to work together here. North Americans unite. Dragon Army. Channel the aggression. Push-ups and hugs. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. So the Dragon Army, and get that public-private partnership, for the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, and the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, so. Stasis are gone after 1989. November 1989, the Stasis are gone, and Gestapo are long gone. KGB are also gone in 1991. And speaking of KGB, makes me think of the Stasi and the Securitate was in the People's Socialist Republic of Romania. That was Nicolae Ceausescu's secret police, which lasted for like 25 years, and supposedly, from what we know, it was the most extensive ever in the 20th century. Secret police, they were able to be even rival Mossad, and CIA, and KGB, and the North Korea. So they were able to. It was very notorious. It was among the top 5 in the world, secret police, and supposedly they had monitored 93% of the population, except for small rural areas. The phones, 93%, and they had microphones in all the complexes and the houses, and they were listening, they were watching, it was a notorious, known as the Securitate. But no need to spy on me. Freedom, we got to ensure it. Freedom is new under the sun, Mr. Solomon. Freedom is new under the sun, Mr. Solomon. Freedom is new. We have to have some justice, Some justice. We got to have some justice. And my black brothers and sisters, 13.3, 13.4%. Money I cannot give to any charity. I'm myself financially struggling, but hugs and kisses I put on the table, rock and roll, dancing. And you want to make black and white and rainbow LOV with me, I'm always open, black and white and rainbow LOV. And we got to get that Dragon Army, Dancing Goddess Army, DGA, Dancing Goddess Army. You get yours truly being reborn, Adrian Hanna Dragon. Phoenix People's Party, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Look at all those stars, and we got to get it for that XYZ, and we always got to get for that hydration, and we always got to get for the moon and the solar moon, and we always got to look back as I am here on the island and just work every day. Work, and work. We got to get it on the go, and we got to get it on the now, and that's why we got to get it on the do. And it's always important to meditate on all the affairs and look at the stars, see the stars, how many countless stars, and the meditation. Now somebody making love, I know somebody's gonna hook up tonight with consent. One night stands, make love for me as well, one night stands, or reacquainted love, old love, seniors, new love, 18 plus, teenager love. 15, 16, 17-year-old between themselves, of course, between themselves. Teens with teens, you know, make that LOV, somebody twerking now, having fun, laughing. There's love. Somebody gonna give some charity, right? Right, millionaires, billionaires. Right, millionaires, billionaires. Look at those truckers, man. Hey, strippers, give the truckers a discount. Strippers, give the truckers a discount. Strippers, give the truckers a discount. I really admire and respect construction workers, truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, man. They're right there, you know. They're on the line, man. They're athletes. Those picking up the garbage in those big machines, the garbage, picking up the garbage, picking up the garbage, picking up the garbage, you know, picking up the trash, picking up the garbage, picking up the trash, picking up the garbage, the trash, picking up the garbage, the trash, the garbage, the compost. 3 services in my neighborhood, mad love, and they're on those big trucks with the DRT creation of the UE. We're going to be able to do a lot more, and we need to build gates. Let's build together more supercomputers and webcams to monitor, of course, the activities in the public spheres, on the highways, on the roads, on the streets of the big cities and small, medium cities of North America, and encourage people to work out, train, exercise, and got to get some of that LOV, you know. Got to get some of that LOV, and that's why we're going to go drilling with that, and that's why we're going to go drilling for that message, and switch to that French because we're la belle province now, and that's it. Love you, bakers, butchers, nurses, doctors, truckers, and ambulance drivers, all those cooks delivering food, and public hygiene, those doing some charity, and make some good loving. Is the Sabbath. Switch to that French now. Bienvenue à une chanson de rock and roll pour les Canadiens qui vont donner à la charité puis vont réduire les coûts des billets par 44,9%, par 44,9%. 44,9%, s'il vous plaît, 44,9%. Je vous demande un appel de cœur. Oh, la réduction des billets, s'il vous plaît. Réduisez les coûts des billets, s'il vous plaît. Et c'est contre Ottawa, chez nous à Montréal, votre dragon arc-en-ciel vous chante. Tantôt, j'ai fait une chanson pour mes tantes au coin de la Chine qui étaient en train de fumer une cigarette. Ils parlaient de tout, puis de rien, puis ça fumait, puis ils placotaient, puis ils jasaient. Je leur demandais s'ils voulaient des chatouilles, puis ils se disent non. Rien à faire pour savoir, pour le croire, pour du beau fromage, des casquettes, de la danse par chez nous, de la belle province. Camionneur, ça fait l'amour à soir. Puis, je dois commencer avec ma gratitude, même si je vis un stress. Financièrement, je vis un stress. Un stress financièrement, je vis un stress. Je suis en crise financière de 10 000 $. 10 000 $, 10 000 $, 10 000 $. 10 000 $, une crise financière. Je vis un stress financier, je vis un stress financier. Financièrement, je vis un stress. Financièrement, je vis un stress. Donc, j'ai 10 000 $ de dette. J'ai 10 000 $ de dette. En ayant 10 000 $ de dette, je médite. Salutations aux camionneurs. Tous ceux, bien sûr, qui font le travail des services publics et qui changent les aqueducs. Puis je fais un appel de cœur pour la réduction des goûts, des prix, pour les bonbons d'Halloween. Ça va faire plaisir. Les jeunes qui vont s'amuser pour avoir l'Halloween, c'est quelque chose que j'aime moi-même. Puis ici, bien sûr, je fais une méditation dans le contexte de la géopolitique, parce que vous savez que je suis un analyste intéressé en géopolitique, philosophe, artiste, athlète, puis un peu mystique, comique, avec... je mets quand même pas mal de choses dans le contexte de la géopolitique, même la sécurité, bien sûr, des autoroutes, dans le cas d'où il y aura des armées qui envahissent, un sabotage militaire, parce que on s'est fait, à cause des implications qu'on a faites, on s'est fait des ennemis puissants quand même. Il faut le dire, avec les implications, on s'est fait quand même, avec certaines positions, des ennemis potentiels de la Russie, puis la Chine, la Russie, puis la Chine, la Russie, puis la Chine. Bon, c'est sûr qu'il y a quand même, on n'est pas en guerre ouverte, mais c'est possible. J'ai prévu, je marque 5 ans depuis que j'ai prévu la situation actuelle qui se déroule en ce moment, il y a 5 ans, j'ai prévu une conflagration internationale sans une troisième guerre mondiale. Parce que vous savez, à cause de l'Asperger's, qui est aussi connu comme l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, c'est pas une maladie mentale, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. Et nous, on a des intérêts obsessifs. 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 Et ces intérêts obsessifs, bien, ça fait qu'on a bien sûr certaines pulsations. On est pulsé pour bien sûr avoir des pulsations dans ce contexte. Dans ce contexte, bien sûr, qu'on a des pulsations, des impressions, bien sûr, pour faire, bien sûr, des pulsations dans ce contexte que moi-même j'en ai, puis bien sûr dans le contexte que moi-même j'ai. C'est dans la liste de théoriciens en géopolitique. Fait que la géopolitique, c'est quelque chose de constant chez nous. C'est quelque chose de constant chez nous. C'est une constance, c'est une constance, c'est une constance. Fait que je fais toujours des analyses en théorie en géopolitique indépendante. Je fais toujours des analyses et théories indépendantes en géopolitique. C'est quelque chose que moi-même je pratique. Je fais la pratique au quotidien. Quotidiennement, c'est ça, que je fais des analyses et théories en géopolitique. C'est quelque chose de constant que je fais moi-même. C'est quelque chose de constant moi-même que je fais, bien sûr, dans ce contexte de la géopolitique et dans ce contexte de la géopolitique et dans ce contexte de la géopolitique et dans ce contexte géopolitique. C'est des choses comme ça que moi je fais, tu sais. Fait que c'est sûr que je fais des analyses dans le contexte de la géopolitique. C'est bien sûr ces choses-là, bien sûr, que moi-même je fais moi-même aussi. Ces choses-là, tiens. Fait que dans un contexte de la géopolitique, c'est sûr que moi-même, je fais des analyses en géopolitique indépendantes, moi-même 24 sur 24. C'est ça des analyses en géopolitique et géopolitique que je vais faire moi-même. Et bien sûr, on va aller s'hydrater, puis on passe par ici. Les Canadiens, j'espère qu'ils gagnent. On va faire de la danse puis du rock'n'roll, de la danse puis du rock'n'roll, bien sûr, pour que ça fasse nous-mêmes. Que ça gagne. 4-3, je prédis, 4-3, je prédis, 4-3, je prédis, 4-3, je prédis moi-même. Fait que je fais des prédictions, puis je fais des remerciements, bien sûr, pour en faire, pour boire de l'eau ici. Et bien sûr, pour boire de l'eau, bien sûr, pour boire de l'eau. Ça a pris du travail, des travailleurs publics. Imaginez-vous le travail des travailleurs publics et que ça l'a fait. Le travail des politiques et que ça l'a fait. Bien sûr, on y va par la droite, par la gauche. Il faut que je fasse attention moi-même quand je travaille. Bien sûr, de la gauche, de la droite, 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 pour que c'est possible que les freins ne fonctionnent pas, que les freins ne fonctionnent pas. Et si les freins ne fonctionnent pas, si les freins ne fonctionnent pas, bien sûr, si le frein ne fonctionne pas, bien sûr, ça veut dire que c'est possible que l'automobile, ça pèse sur l'accélérateur en place de peser sur le frein, parce que ça pèse sur le frein. C'est possible, bien sûr, c'est possible, bien sûr, c'est possible, bien sûr, c'est possible, bien sûr que ça arrive, ça arrive, bien sûr. C'est des choses dans un contexte qui peut arriver, bien sûr. Des choses, puis... Oh, un beau bleu ici, puis les Canadiens qui gagnent. Ça, c'est beau, bien sûr, pour faire ensemble, puis bien sûr, des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse dans le contexte des automobiles. En tout cas. Et bien sûr, c'est des choses qu'il faut méditer bien sûr, pour la méditation ici. Pour le faire, tu sais, c'est des choses bien sûr qu'il faut qu'on pense, et puis c'est des choses bien sûr qu'il faut qu'on soit toujours au courant, en constance, que la civilisation c'est un privilège. C'est un privilège. Juste boire de l'eau potable, là. Imaginez-vous donc le travail, ça a été fait. Le travail de l'Hydro-Québec au 20e siècle, là, pour avoir de l'électricité ici, c'est avoir de l'électricité ici, avoir de l'électricité ici. Avoir de l'électricité ici. En constance. Gotta get it on that drill, man. Anyways, fait que c'est ça qu'il faut faire. That's what it is. C'est ça que c'est ça, puis on doit continuer, faire cette méditation, mais je dois commencer avec ma gratitude, bien sûr. La gratitude, même si je vis présentement un stress financier, mes finances, 10 000 $ de finances de dette, c'est quelque chose avec lequel que je vis moi-même, fait que c'est quelque chose en constance. Fait que on va commencer par une chanson de rock and roll, les Canadiens qui parlent, puis on va aller pour le faire en passant par les beaux graffitis, qui sont faits par les comme ça. Ici c'est un beau, ça dit Jésus aime les putes. En anglais, Jésus aime les putes. Je vois tout. Ouais, j'aimerais pas ça voir tout. J'aimerais ça voir tout, toi. Voir tout, on verrait des choses, même des gangster rappers qui ils ont certains secrets. Certains secrets quand même. Yeah. Uh-huh. How's that wig? Non, en tout cas, c'est beau quand même, je trouve ça beau des couleurs, mais celle-là, il était beau quand même. Il dit, Jésus aime les putes, mais je me marierai avec les putes, je me marierai avec une putain, j'ai une chanson que j'ai composée moi-même, je me marierai avec une putain, avec un putain. Je me marierai, mais comme c'est dit, je vois tout, mais moi, je sais pas, j'aimerais ça pour moi, parce que ça serait... je vivrais en crise. Ils vont me laisser passer, merci, c'est bien apprécié. Je n'étais pas sûr, j'ai fait de ma prudence, tu sais, parce que on tourne la tête de la gauche à droite, puis à la fin du jour, ben, c'est des ferrailles sur des roues, le corps est important, ben, c'est des ferrailles sur les roues, c'est des ferrailles sur les rues, 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 fait que... Puis je voulais pas trop rester là-bas, je voulais chanter plus dans le tunnel, mais j'ai vu qu'il y avait 3 jeunes qui fumaient du cannabis, mais quand même, soyez prudents, parce que là, c'est pas la place, là, s'il y a des enfants avec des parents qui passent, là, les enfants, entassez-vous, parce que c'est dans le tunnel, puis faut être conscient comme celui-là, parce que je viens de voir un enfant avec les parents qui peut-être se dirige, là, vers le tunnel, fait que, il faut pas qu'il inspire ça, parce que dans le tunnel, la fumée, c'est contrainte, fait que je viens de voir une famille avec un enfant jeune, puis j'ai pensé à ça quand même, tu sais, j'ai dit, ben, l'enfant, faut pas qu'il respire Ça me dérange pas que vous fumez, du cannabis, c'est légal, fait que les trois qui étaient là, ben, ils fumaient du cannabis, bien sûr, fait que, en fumant du cannabis, ben, c'est beau, mais dans le tunnel, il faut penser qu'il y a d'autres citoyens aussi, là, dans le public, mais juste faire constance, appréciation, de ces choses qu'on a visibles nous-mêmes, bien sûr, dans cette Amérique du Nord, hein? Le Québec, le Montréal, la métropole, 2,5 millions, bien sûr, de la métropole dans le Nord, métropole dans le Nord, métropole dans le Nord. Fait qu'il faut être prudent, puis il faut penser à des choses comme ça, bien sûr. C'est des choses qui faut que moi-même je pense. Fait que, dans ce contexte-là, pas que vous fumez le pot là-bas, là, vous êtes inconscient, dans le tunnel, ben, c'est public, fait que c'est possible qu'il y ait des enfants qui viennent, fait que le reste, ça me dérange pas. Je suis pas parfait loin de là, mais faut avoir une balance, une certaine balance. Pour la belle province, ça danse, puis là-bas, c'était marqué, mais Jésus aime les putes. Ben, Jésus, ma version de Jésus, c'est rock'n'roll Louis C, puis Céline Dion, puis lavage de pieds. Là. Mais ma spiritualité est quand même rock'n'roll, mais le soleil est mon pape, les étoiles, la belle province, pas de guitare, mais c'est un peu de la comédie aussi, je sais pas, il y a tellement de choses que je sais pas, là. Que je sais pas moi-même, je suis mystique, j'y crois à les réincarnations parce que sur le Mont-Royal, j'ai vécu des flashs, j'étais né homme-femme ici, québécois, puis ici en Amérique du Nord, dans d'autres vies, en ancienne Égypte, en Rome, l'Empire romain, j'ai été légionnaire, capitaine, un moment donné, j'étais né femme, j'étais né femme, prêtresse de la déesse, j'étais une prêtresse de la déesse, fait que c'est une prêtresse de la déesse, puis maintenant je suis androgène, qui est pas sexuel, vous avez là 50, puis c'est ça, ici, sur le Mont-Royal, ma deuxième maison. Je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. La gratitude, c'est bon pour la santé mentale. Tu sais, pensez juste à ça. Là. Tout le travail au 20e siècle pour avoir ces lumières de l'Hydro-Québec. Ça en prend pour en bâtir d'autres. Imaginez-vous tout le travail en dessous de la terre. C'est tout un privilège, ça. Hein? L'eau potable, la civilisation, bien sûr. C'est des choses comme ça qu'il faut qu'on y aille, bien sûr. C'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on regarde, bien sûr. Ici, bien sûr, c'est des choses pour en faire, bien sûr. Puis c'est avec consentement, hygiène, puis d'attard. Consentement, hygiène, faites l'amour, danser, du monde qui danse, Canadiens qui gagnent. Peut-être ils perdent, je sais pas s'ils vont gagner quand même, mais c'est possible. Ils gagnent-tu? Ils perdent. Moi, je suis la gratitude. J'avais mon 13$, puis j'ai acheté ce spécial pour la fête de mon père. Aujourd'hui, je suis la fête de mon père, Aleister Crowley, le 12 octobre 1875. Mon père, puis moi, je suis son fils, sa fille, fils de leur fils. Pas besoin de me maudire, pas besoin de l'eau bénite. Juste une bière à la place avec l'accordéon, ça danse, les arbres, Poppa. Ça bouge tous des fesses, des aigles circonflexes. Bécherel, pas besoin pour en conjuguer, atteindre, ben le ciel bien en garde, ben le ciel bien en garde. Mise en garde, ça regarde, ben la bouche, ça l'ouvre. Et ça faut que ça danse, des ballons, ben ça lance. Ça lance par l'espoir, bâtir l'Hydro-Québec, des centrales. Faites ma rétention criminelle, je danse puis je fais l'amour avec une policière puis policier car je suis le dragon en arc-en-ciel pour vous chanter pour le bordel. Que ça aime bien des putes, que ça aime bien des louches, que ça fasse bien la suite, que ça fasse bien la butte. Que ça fasse bien la suite, que ça fasse 1, 2, 3, 4 pas, la Marie-Magdeleine, puis ça chante, puis ça danse, de chez nous, puis ça danse, puis ça fasse pour regarder, puis ça fasse bien qu'on danse, bien la face de l'arc-en-ciel, des yeux du soleil, puis ça bouge, regarde. Encore un ton pour l'endon, pour le garder, pour le garder, pour le faire pour la main, pour la faire pour la main, pour la faire pour la main, pour le bain, le lavage, sanitation, en santé, en publication, la santé publique de chez nous, Québec, hey, République. Ah oui, mon intérêt obsessif, Ça en fait partie. Le rock'n'roll, puis je rock'n'roll ben. Des fois, je peux rock'n'roll pendant des heures, puis la géopolitique pareillement, puis la danse. Je peux danser pendant des heures, puis la danse, c'est mon sport préféré, c'est ma trinité d'intérêt obsessif. En tant qu'aspi, avec l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, je suis neurodivergent, j'ai quand même la neurodivergence, là. Dans la neurodivergence, l'Asperger, c'est pas une maladie mentale. L'autisme hautement fonctionnel, c'est pas une maladie mentale. C'est une condition de neurodivergence psychique. Ça fait que je vois des choses d'une manière différente. Il y a des choses sociales que je comprends pas, comme le parler dans le dos du monde. Et c'est quelque chose que je le comprends pas du sens que, mais je le comprends d'une manière que ça n'a pas de but, ça va pas amener des solutions. Fait que je suis toujours pour dire des idées, des philosophies, puis des actions. Puis la compassion, nous, on le montre par des actions concrètes. Des actions. Si je peux faire quelque chose pour n'importe. Je vais juste me le demander dans mes capacités, la cuisine, le nettoyage, le massage, des bisous, du rock'n'roll, la géopolitique, le rock'n'roll, ces choses-là. C'est là que des fois, on se bloque, puis je sais pas, tu sais, c'est des choses étranges, des fois. On se rapproche des gens, c'est un symptôme, on a des symptômes, puis il n'y a pas de médicaments pour l'Asperger's, on a des symptômes. Puis je dois faire la gestion de mes symptômes. Des fois, on est intense, surtout quand moi je fais l'entraînement physique, mes matchs, puis le rock'n'roll, puis la géopolitique, parce qu'on est tellement obsédé, puis intense dans ces choses-là, que ceux qui ne l'ont pas, puis il n'y a pas beaucoup de gens qui ont l'Asperger, c'est 0,44%. C'est moins qu'un sur 300, même pas 1 sur 300, c'est moins qu'1%. C'est moins qu'1%, c'est 0,44%. C'est 0,44%. C'est 0,44%, moins que 1%, en moins qu'1%, c'est 0,44%. 0,44%. C'est même pas 1% de la population, 0,44%, 0,44%, 0,44%. C'est moins que 1%, bien sûr. Fait qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même de l'entraînement ici. Faire la philosophie, là, il n'y a pas d'eau, bien sûr, là, il n'y a pas d'eau. Bien sûr, pour le faire, mais il n'y a pas d'eau, il faut que je aille m'hydrater quelque part d'autre, même si j'ai la bouteille. J'ai quand même une bouteille d'eau, fait que je pourrais m'hydrater un peu ici avant que je vous placote, continue à placoter de la TRD, puis on s'en va-tu voir les Canadiens, je vais voir combien d'argent qui me reste ici. Merci Hydro-Québec, j'ai la lumière, vous pouvez pouvoir compter mes sous. Présentement, je vis juste un stress financier. J'ai pas d'argent, j'ai payé mon loyer quand même. J'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café petit thé, puis j'ai ces choses-là comme ça, parce que c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'il faut moi-même que j'aille moi-même dans des circonstances. J'ai un petit... OK, j'ai un 5$. J'ai un 5$. Vous voyez... J'ai un 5$, fait que je vais pouvoir en théorie aller m'acheter le café, mais vous voyez une chose de l'Asperger, c'est bizarre un peu. Je m'en vais tout de suite regarder quelle année ça a été imprimé. Je suis allé directement regarder proche quelle année ça a été imprimé. Fait que c'est des symptômes bizarres un peu, on cherche à savoir des détails que dans le fond, certains gens ils vont dire ben ça sert à quoi savoir ça, mais parce qu'on fait une méditation, puis ma méditation c'est dans le contexte de la géopolitique, combien d'argent qu'il y a en circulation, puis dans le contexte de ma théorie que je fais appel à tous, même mon oncle Legault. Ben, des fois, je suis 50-50 avec mon oncle, des fois, je suis 90-10, des fois, je suis 70-30, des fois, je suis 10,90, des fois je suis 7,93, des fois je suis 44%, mais ça dépend dans quel contexte, dans quelle chose, quelle implémentation, de quelle politique. Puis je suis centriste, mon centrisme est universel révolutionnaire du point de vue du collectif nord-américain de l'Amérique du Nord. De l'Amérique du Nord, parce que je suis québécois, canadien, nord-américain, comme personnellement, je ne me considère pas en étant un membre d'une diaspora. Personnellement, je considère pas en étant un membre d'une diaspora. Personnellement, je ne me considère pas un membre d'une diaspora, même peut-être à cause des réincarnations quand j'étais né québécoise, québécois, homme, femme, puis aux États-Unis que je considère l'Amérique du Nord, le Canada et le Québec chez nous, puis avec les réincarnations, bien sûr, que j'ai vécu moi-même, puis ces expériences un peu mystiques, c'est chic, mais c'est peut-être à cause de ça. Fait que je vais aller m'hydrater un peu, je vais m'hydrater un peu haut. Il me reste la moitié. Fait que je vais m'hydrater. On va boire complètement. Bu. On en remet dans les poches. Je vais juste m'assurer que j'ai-tu d'autres choses à mettre à la poubelle pour que... Je mets à la poubelle pour pas que je garde avec moi-même. Non, ça, mon dictionnaire de latin, non. Ça, non. Pas dans les vidanges, non. Dictionnaire latin. On va lire 3 mots. 5. Analogie, similitude. Analysis, analyse, explicatio. Manifest, aperire, pate facere, manifestum facere. Manifestation, demonstratio, indicium. Personal, privatus, proprius. Oh, c'est quelque chose. On a appris un peu de latin, le dictionnaire en latin, mais la devise de Montréal, c'est latin, Concordia Salus, Concordia Salus. Puis là, je vais me nettoyer les mains parce que tantôt, tu sais, j'avais passé pour... ça, c'est un nettoyage de mains, puis j'avais négligé, mais là, vu que j'ai pesé, essayer d'avoir de l'eau ici, je vais... Ah, c'est froid. Fait que je vais me désinfecter les mains. 10, avec du... On a désinfect the hands, on se désinfecte les mains. 10, 20, 20, 19, 18, ah, c'est froid, mais ça tue les bactéries, les germes, puis les microbes. We're gonna disinfect. 20 seconds, it kills the bacteria, germs, and microbes because we didn't do it before, and now we press there, so we're gonna disinfect the hands. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0, 5, 4, foomf. There we go. That's it, that's all. Rock and roll with that. Gonna put on a little bit of that, and we're gonna put on a little bit of this, and that's what we're gonna go drive it with that. And we drive it in, we clock it in, we clock it back, then we clock it in back in, and that's it for the go, that's it for the now. Oh, I'm gonna take the scarf, on va prendre le... Je vais... Qu'est-ce que je porte? Le manteau, tout ce que je porte, bien sûr, tout ce que je porte, les manteaux, puis des choses comme ça que je porte sur moi-même. Je vais pour donner la 50-50, ça, la moitié à ma soeur anonyme. Je vends, bien sûr, je vends les produits que je porte sur moi-même, bien sûr, avec les souliers, les lunettes, et bien sûr, le chandail, les pantalons. Chaque pour 1 million. Ah oui, Céline, Pelado. Je vais donner 50% la moitié à mon ami anonyme. Puis pour le mariage, je vais demander un mariage pour les bagues. Puis il faut que je trouve les bagues. J'ai 3 bagues, mais il faut que j'en achète une. Puis je suis prêt à combattre Donald Trump pour avoir, bien sûr, dans le mariage, pour proposition de mariage. Puis pour la construction du Collectif sur la frontière canado-états-unienne. Pas loin, un colossé géant pour des activités sportives, de la danse, pour l'Union de l'Amérique du Nord, pour l'Union de l'Amérique du Nord, de Nord-Amérique, pour me faire, bien sûr, moi-même, pour le faire l'entraînement physique que je vous encourage. Et bien sûr, on s'en va voir s'il y a de l'hydratation. Et je dois bien sûr faire attention, bien sûr. Ici, je dois te saluer, puis je fais une méditation. Je pense qu'ils font du travail pour les aqueducs. Je pense. Hey, c'est quelque chose, hein? Quand même, méditer à ça, là, le travail des aqueducs, ça en prend. C'est le travail public ici, avec... faut remercier, c'est pour ça qu'on a de l'eau potable. Bien sûr. Mais cette machine-là, je dois quand même admirer. C'est un Volvo, fait que ça doit venir de la Suède. Là. J'imagine comment ça a été bâti, combien qui a été bâti, c'est quoi les capacités. Combien il faut que ça pèse, C'est bien sûr ces choses-là qu'il faut que je médite, bien sûr, pour en faire la méditation, bien sûr, puis pour faire ces choses de méditation que je médite moi-même. Dans ces méditations, dans le contexte où on est rendu aujourd'hui, dans le contexte, bien sûr, de le faire. Pour le faire, bien sûr, dans un contexte de plaisance, puis je viens de méditer puis faire, bien sûr, une... Dans le travail, je viens de faire un flash. Vous savez, je suis artiste, athlète, philosophe, analyste, théoricien, géopolitique, votre dragon arc-en-ciel. Je viens de faire moi-même de la méditation, bien sûr. Et voilà. Et voilà. Ici, le travail public. J'ai eu une chorégraphie dans la tête. Une chorégraphie qu'on pourrait faire pour les travaux publics, pour les travaux publics, pour les travaux publics, pour les travaux publics, pour les travaux publics. Pour les travailleurs du Québec, de la chorégraphie de danse pour mon rêve. L'armée de la déesse qui danse. Je vais savoir. L'armée de la déesse qui danse, l'armée de la déesse qui danse, l'armée de la déesse qui danse. L'armée de la déesse qui danse parallèlement du dragon. Et du dragon parallèlement et du dragon parallèlement. Et du dragon, l'armée de la déesse qui danse. Puis je dois pour les transports publics, de la danse. Puis du rock'n'roll toujours pour les camionneurs, les infirmières, les bouchers dans les boulangeries. Les traditeurs québécois qui ont bâti la belle province, le Canada, puis le complexe de civilisation nord-américain. L'Amérique du Nord, c'est un complexe de civilisation. Ça, ma philosophie, en tant que philosophe, on constitue un complexe émergent de civilisation. Un complexe émergent. Un complexe émergent de civilisation. C'est un complexe de civilisation émergent. On émerge, on est en émergence. Ça veut dire on n'est pas divorcé de l'Occident, mais on a des distinctions. Fait que ces distinctions-là, ça en fait qu'on constitue un complexe de civilisation dans l'Amérique du Nord, on constitue un complexe de civilisation nord-américain. Nord-américain. Puis ici, ça mérite un peu de couleur. J'imagine un peu de couleur, que ça serait bien sûr, pour en mettre un peu de couleur ici, pour le faire bien sûr. Je pourrais faire du bénévolat pour le travail bien sûr, premièrement. Les 44 blancs, 44 blancs, pour mon voyage. J'aimerais tellement ça les peinturer, mettre quelque chose de bleu, blanc, rouge. Là. Emmenez-moi les outils. Ah oui, ma tante Valérie Plante. Emmène-moi les outils. Ben, le pinceau, la peinture, la permission, ben c'est sûr que j'en ai vécu, là. La bureaucratie, tout ça. Il y a une araignée. Faut que je fasse attention parce que les araignées sont sacrées dans ma spiritualité avec la déesse, Dieu, le soleil, le pape, la lune, avec les centaines de milliards de bisous puis de chatouilles, des milliards de bisous puis de chatouilles, des milliards de bisous puis de chatouilles, puis en célébrant mon père, Crowley, Aleister, le 15 octobre, qui était là, correction le 12, on est le 12. Correction, on est le 12. Je m'hydratais encore ici. Je médite combien de travail ça a pris pour avoir de l'eau ici. Merci les travailleurs publics, les aqueducs. On a du travail à faire dans le collectif nord-américain. On a du travail à faire dans le collectif nord-américain. On a tellement de travail à faire juste en Amérique du Nord. Je m'hydrate, je remplis la bouteille, puis ça va voir les Canadiens. Ah ouais. Je vais remplir la bouteille aussi. On va remplir la bouteille. Puis encore une fois, bien sûr, en étant spi, mais mon intérêt obsessif, c'est la géopolitique. Fait que, vous voyez, j'ai 24 sur 24. La géopolitique, le sport, la danse, l'entraînement physique. Puis le sport, la danse, l'entraînement physique, c'est une chose. Là. Parce que la danse, pour moi, c'est l'entraînement physique. La marche, c'est l'entraînement physique. Le sport, j'aime ça regarder le sport. Puis tout ce qu'il y a à faire avec le sport, l'activité physique. Généralement, le sport, c'est ça. Et la troisième, c'est le rock'n'roll. Fait que c'est Trinité. Mais je suis analyste théoricien en géopolitique. Je viens justement de mettre en vigueur. J'ai mis tout ça en vigueur. Dans ce contexte, bien sûr, dans ce contexte de la géopolitique. Fait que comment ça a été bâti, puis dans un cas d'extrême, là, on aurait bien sûr, on serait en guerre ouverte, on serait en guerre ouverte. Qu'on serait en guerre ouverte, tu sais, qu'on serait en guerre ouverte. Fait que cette guerre ouverte, mais ça serait justement, bien sûr, ça serait justement, bien sûr, de cette guerre ouverte, bien sûr, qu'on doit vivre. C'est des choses comme ça, bien sûr, que moi-même, je dois vivre, puis des choses comme ça que je dois vivre moi-même. Pour en faire la méditation, ben, c'est sûr que c'est 24 sur 24, cette méditation, bien sûr. Puis c'est des choses, bien sûr, qui faut que je médite moi-même sur ces choses-là. Puis c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'il faut que moi-même, je médite. Puis je fais de la méditation dans ces circonstances. Puis ici, pour les travailleurs publics, c'est que je fais les chemins des ferrailles, puis du chemin. Puis c'est des choses comme ça, bien sûr, que je dois même faire. Ces méditations, bien sûr, de cette méditation que ça soit ici. Puis toujours faire ces méditations, bien sûr, pour enfin dans ce complexe collectif de civilisation, puis comment on ferait pour la défense maintenant dans un contexte de guerre ouverte, on s'est fait des ennemis, la Chine, possible, pas ennemi ouvert, mais on a pris des positions, pas nous, là, parce que moi, vous savez que mon point, c'est pour un référendum, hein, pour un vote, pas un référendum, mais pas pour la séparation du Québec. Je suis pour l'Union de l'Amérique du Nord, je suis pas pour la séparation du Québec, mais pour l'Union de l'Amérique du Nord dans un partenariat public-privé, mes initiatives philosophie, mais dans un contexte pour le vote. Il y aurait un vote comme pour une intervention, mettons, comme on a fait du soutien militaire, pas juste humanitaire, on soutient l'Ukraine militairement, puis l'Ukraine ne fait pas partie encore de l'OTAN. L'OTAN, l'organisation alliance militaire avec laquelle on a depuis des années 50. Là. Mais moi, j'aurais fait un vote populaire dans certains, parce que là aussi, on se fait des ennemis on s'est fait des potentiels ennemis d'une puissance nucléaire, la Russie. Ils ont le plus d'armes nucléaires. La guerre froide, ça a duré 44 ans et 9 mois. Là. La guerre froide, ça a duré 44 ans et 9 mois. La guerre froide, ça a duré 44 ans là, et 9 mois. Là. Ça a duré longtemps, quasiment 45 ans, la guerre froide. 44 ans et 9 mois, là, ça a duré. 44 ans là, et 9 mois. C'est longtemps, ça. Ça a duré longtemps quand même, tu sais. Longtemps, la guerre froide. Ça a duré longtemps, la guerre froide. 44 ans et 9 mois. 44 ans et 9 mois. Officiellement, c'est ça que je prends moi aussi comme date, de mars 1947 à décembre 1991. C'est 44 ans et 9 mois, quasiment 45. C'est longtemps, là, la guerre froide. En 1947, de mars 1947 à décembre 1991, soit le 25. Officiellement, la perestroïka et la dissolution de l'Union soviétique. C'est là que je faisais mon lavage avant, c'est là que je faisais mon lavage avant, mais j'ai la gratitude maintenant, j'ai une laveuse, une sécheuse, une laveuse, j'ai une laveuse, une sécheuse, une laveuse, une sécheuse, une laveuse, une sécheuse, moi-même, fait que j'ai une laveuse, une sécheuse, une laveuse, une sécheuse, une laveuse, puis c'est là que je faisais mon lavage, ça c'est mon quartier ici, puis mon quartier, ben, c'est là, j'ai fait pendant comme 3 ans et demi, j'allais laver, peut-être même 4 ans, 5 ans peut-être. Non, 3 ans et demi. À peu près 3 ans et demi. 3 ans et demi, puis ici, ça a du travail à faire quand même, puis c'est beau du travail, bien sûr, pour les faire, bien sûr, pour faire du travail, bien sûr, pour les faire du travail, puis c'est bien sûr ici que je dois faire, puis je passe par ici, hop, fait sur une pizza, mais juste le bac, il n'y avait pas de pizza dedans, mais j'ai pas appuyé dessus, là, mais en tout cas, fait que ça a duré 44 ans. 44 ans, bien sûr. 44 ans pour en faire, bien sûr. 44 ans, bien sûr. C'est 44, là. 44 ans. Là. Ça durait bien sûr longtemps, la guerre froide. Quasiment 45, officiellement. Puis il y en a qui disputent. Il y en a qui disent 46, 47. Il y en a qui mettent ça à fin de exactement quand la Deuxième Guerre ça a fini en 1945. D'habitude, comme la plupart des historiens de l'histoire, même des analystes et théoriciens en géopolitique comme moi-même, ils placent ça dans la majorité entre 1947, 1947 mars et 1991 décembre. En décembre puis en mars. En décembre puis en mars, en décembre puis en mars, en décembre puis en mars. Fait quasiment 45 ans, entre 44 ans et 9 mois. Entre 44 ans et 9 mois. 44 ans et 9 mois. Entre 44 ans et 9 mois, là. C'est sûr, là, c'est longtemps, tu sais. Imaginez-vous, là, ça a pris tellement longtemps pour le faire. Fait que c'est des choses, bien sûr, ça a duré longtemps. Fait que la Russie, le point, c'est que la Russie a bâti le plus d'armes nucléaires entre ses 44 ans et 9 mois, quasiment 45 ans. Puis des missiles balistiques intercontinentaux. C'est la Russie qui possède toutes les armes nucléaires que l'Union soviétique a bâties. La Russie possède, ils ont toutes les armes nucléaires que l'Union soviétique ont bâties. Toutes les armes nucléaires que l'Union soviétique ont bâties, c'est la Russie qui les a, qui les possède. Avec les missiles intercontinentaux aussi. Là. Ils peuvent se rendre, le Yars 24 peut traverser 10 500 km. De Montréal, là, l'île de Montréal, où j'habite moi-même, où que je suis maintenant, c'est 8 500 km. Fait que faisait le calcul. S'ils peuvent, en théorie bien sûr, traverser 10 500 km, ça veut dire qu'il reste 2000 km. Ça veut dire qu'ils peuvent se rendre jusqu'ici, de Moscou jusqu'ici, ça dépend d'où ils sont lancés, mais en théorie, ils peuvent traverser même en l'Ontario plus loin, là, dans les prairies, là, juste plus loin dans les prairies, bien sûr. C'est possible, bien sûr, c'est des choses de possibles. Puis de la Lune. C'est des choses possibles, imaginez-vous donc, là. Ça peut traverser tellement loin qu'il faut se rendre, là. Ici à Montréal, c'est possible. Ben, on n'est pas en guerre ouverte avec la Chine ni la Russie, mais on a pris des positions. Pas nous, pas moi, pas moi-même. Moi, principalement, il faut comprendre, mes positions sont pour l'Amérique du Nord, pour la défense, la sécurité, la renaissance. Pour l'Amérique du Nord, dans qu'est-ce que je connais, c'est la géopolitique, puis je suis philosophe. Philosophie un peu rock'n'roll, l'entraînement physique, la danse. Un petit peu d'humour, un petit peu de comédie, avec mon Asperger's un peu bizarre, petit d'amis, pas beaucoup d'amis, mais je m'en fais des nouveaux amis avec bénéfice maintenant. Des amis avec bénéfice. Des amis avec bénéfice. Des amis avec bénéfice, des amis avec bénéfice. Des amis avec bénéfice seulement, des amis avec bénéfice. Des amis avec bénéfice, des amis avec bénéfice seulement. Prêtez allégeance, les gens vous êtes famille. 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 C'est le rêve du dragon. Le royaume du dragon et la déesse qui danse. Le royaume du dragon et la déesse qui danse. Le royaume de la déesse qui danse et du dragon, mais c'est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé. Puis je vais discuter la TRD maintenant parce que c'est un paradoxe que je puisse vous présenter une solution. Une solution du point de vue. La solution, bien sûr, dans le contexte nord-américain, dans le contexte des finances publiques. Car la géopolitique étant mon intérêt obsessif, j'y connais la géopolitique. Quand on étudie la géopolitique, étant moi-même analyste et théoricien en géopolitique indépendant, mais c'est la géopolitique 24/24. Si je mets des fois plein de choses dans le contexte de la géopolitique, même les hamburgers qui se font maintenant, du point de vue de la sécurité alimentaire, dans un cas de géopolitique, où la guerre, c'est le point majeur, le point principal. La guerre dans un contexte géopolitique, la finance, l'économie, la culture, la civilisation, la langue, l'infrastructure, toutes ces choses-là font partie de la géopolitique, les nations, les États, tout ce qu'un pays a, même la géographie. Bon, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Ça, je veux vous présenter sur la table, c'est un paradoxe Mais méchant, vous pouvez vous ostiner pendant 3 ans et demi, pendant 5 ans, pendant 7 ans, pendant 44, pendant 11 ans, pendant 1 an. Vous pouvez vous ostiner, mais il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD. Du point de vue financièrement, là, où qu'on est rendu, 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 où qu'on est rendu. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution, 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 il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD. La TRD. Pourquoi je dis ça? Mais justement, je dis ça car, et bien sûr, vu du point qu'on est rendu à 46,5 milliards d'intérêts. Milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique. C'est juste l'intérêt qu'on paye. Et il y a toujours les attentes ici. S'il vous plaît, McDo, réduisez les coûts. Il y a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chars. S'il vous plaît, McDo. Il y en a bien plus. Il y en a bien plus que 5. Je pense qu'il y en avait quand même plus que 5. Ouais. Il y a toujours. S'il vous plaît, réduisez les coûts quand même. J'aimerais ça me permettre de. Vous savez qu'est-ce que je mangerais? 3 hamburgers. 3 différents hamburgers. Mais, j'ai la nourriture chez nous. La nourriture chez nous, puis je me suis acheté du chocolat à 5$, moins que 5$. No name, là, no name, là, puis je me suis acheté d'autres choses, fait que c'est des choses comme ça qu'il faut que je fasse moi-même, fait que c'est toujours la TRD, c'est la seule et unique solution, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD. TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD. TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Pour faire l'initiative qu'on paye tellement d'intérêts. C'est tellement d'intérêts qu'on paye, bien sûr. On paye tellement d'intérêts. 46,5 milliards, 46,5 milliards. 46,5 milliards. 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros, méchant. C'est en 9 zéros, 1 milliard. C'est en 9 zéros. C'est en 9. 1 milliard, c'est 1000 millions, pas 100 millions. Bon, en 2020-2021, l'année fiscale, on paye 20,3 milliards. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. 20,3 fois 2, là, c'est 40,6. Là, on paye 46 milliards. C'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, puis j'ai eu la COVID, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence, la maladie. 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 La COVID, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence, la maladie. Je sais bien, ça sonne comme une chanson d'extrême, de heavy metal, de rock and roll dur, mais c'était comme ça que je me suis ressenti quand je l'ai eu en février, mars 2020. Dans 5 mois, ça va faire 5 ans dans 5 mois. J'ai survécu la dépression. Quand j'ai traversé le Canada en 2017 de côte à côte, ben, j'ai sorti de la dépression. J'ai arrêté d'être suicidaire, puis commencé à m'entraîner. En 2019, j'ai prévu la situation actuelle d'une manière généralement parlant. J'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. J'ai la preuve, j'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique. J'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. J'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. J'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. Et c'est ces choses-là qu'il faut qu'on fasse pour la défense. Puis je suis un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique extrêmement bon. Je peux le dire, sans me vanter, mais c'est mon intérêt obsessif. Je suis un analyste et théoricien en géopolitique, c'est 24 sur 24. J'ai prévu là, qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant. En 2019, je peux vous faire un petit résumé que généralement, j'ai vu, dû à cause au fait que ben des régions, des nations-États, des pays, des civilisations n'ont pas été capables de résoudre leurs problèmes du 20e siècle. Il va y avoir une continuité dans le 21e siècle, ça va reprendre en intensité. C'est ça qui arrive en Europe avec l'Ukraine puis la Russie. C'est des conflits non résolus du 20e siècle. Le Moyen-Orient aussi, c'est des conflits non résolus du 20e siècle. Un troisièmement, potentiellement, la République de la Chine populaire, qui est le pays de la Chine de 1,4 milliard, avec la République de la Chine, la Russie, c'est le Taïwan, l'île de Taïwan de 25 millions. C'est deux Chines, c'est deux Chines, ça, c'est deux Chines. Leur dispute date du 20e siècle, comme ici au Québec, au Canada, en Amérique du Nord. On a fait des grands compromis pour continuer de la paix. L'harmonie avec qu'est-ce que j'appelle le grand compromis linguistique, le grand compromis linguistique du français du Québec. On se donne des fois des coudes, on s'ostine, on se révolte, on s'ostine. On se donne des coudes, on s'ostine, on met sur la table, on remet, on donne, on va, on jase. Mais on a quand même été capable de résoudre ça d'une manière pacifique, d'une manière avec du donné, puis du savoir, puis du financement du français, puis du financement, puis des fois des lois, des législatures. Ben, ça, moi-même, c'est par le rock'n'roll, puis la danse, puis l'encouragement. L'encouragement, j'encourage les gens à faire un effort du français, du Québec. Vice-versa, les Québécois, de faire un effort pour l'anglais comme un oncle Legault. Ben, en tout cas, faites un effort. Regardez un peu de film, regardez un peu de La Petite Vie, écoutez un peu de Bas Dommage, écoutez un peu de Rock Voisine, écoutez un peu de Céline, écoutez un peu de Bon Cop, Bad Cop 3, faisons le troisième. Je danse pendant 5 minutes comme une fou folle, là. Monsieur, madame, votre dragon arc-en-ciel, bon. C'est ça. Ben, c'est ça qu'il faut faire. Il faut faire, bien sûr, ces choses-là. Puis, il faut, bien sûr, avoir quand même la comédie un peu dans les choses que je fais. Mais il y a du sérieux aussi. Fait que c'est des choses du sérieux aussi, bien sûr, que moi-même, il faut que j'intègre dans ma vie en faisant ces choses d'intégration dans ma vie. En faisant ces choses, bien sûr, qui sont pour une cas, puis pour un autre, pour le faire, puis pour un autre, puis pour le faire, puis pour un autre, puis pour le faire comme une chose que je dois faire moi-même. Quelqu'un qui porte du rouge, j'apprécie ça, mais c'est rouge, 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 puis rouge ma couleur préférée, mais j'ai l'Asperger, je suis neurodivergent, mais j'ai vécu du trauma. J'étais attaqué par surprise il y a une couple d'années, j'attends après l'hôpital pour me donner des nouvelles, parce que je me souviens, tu sais, j'étais attaqué par surprise, j'ai tombé à terre avec ma tête, j'ai cogné, puis j'ai eu mon bras disloqué, le bras droit, j'étais à l'hôpital, puis après ça, j'étais fini pendant un couple de jours, mais j'ai vécu mon propre épisode des pirates siliciens, j'ai vécu mon propre épisode de pirates siliciens, j'ai vécu mon propre épisode de pirates siliciens, j'ai vécu mon propre épisode là, des pirates siliciens, des pirates siliciens, puis that's all, mais c'est ça, puis j'ai des cicatrices, mais c'est pour ça que je vis en hypervigilance, je vis en hypervigilance, quand même. Puis je suis pour la défense, 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 je suis juste pour la défense. Hein. Comme Tom Brady que je défendrai au Super Bowl, les 49ers, le Purdy, puis Steve Farm, la gauche-droite, puis défense. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, mes chers Québécois et Québécois, c'est la seule et unique solution. Donc, c'est quoi la TRD? C'est T pour théorie, R, refusion, D de la dette, D de la dette. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule et unique solution, vu, et pourquoi je dis ça, c'est car aujourd'hui, l'année fiscale canadien du 2023, 2024, 2023, 2024, 2023, 2024, on paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts. C'est 46 000 millions. C'est 46 000 millions. C'est 46 000 millions. C'est 46 000 millions. 46 000 millions. C'est 46 000 millions. C'est ça que c'est 46 000 millions. C'est 46 000 millions. 46 000 millions. C'est ça le montant qu'on paye sur l'intérêt de la dette publique seulement. Fait qu'il n'y a pas d'autre solution que ma TRD, méchant. Et ça a plus que doublé en 2020-2021. C'était 20,3 milliards. C'était 20,3 milliards. C'était 20,3 milliards. Ça a plus que doublé. Double, c'est 20,3 fois 2, ça aurait été 40,6. Fait que c'est plus que le double, là, imaginez-vous. C'est plus que le double, là. Puis c'est 46,5 milliards juste service de la dette. Soit en d'autres mots, payer l'intérêt. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD, je vous l'explique. Le plus simplement que je puisse. À cause de l'Asperger, les symptômes que je dois faire la gestion sont que je dois utiliser des mots plus simples que sophistiqués, académiques, intellectuels dans ce contexte. C'est ça qu'on a des syndromes, des symptômes. Des fois, on explique des choses avec trop de mots, trop de vocabulaire qui n'est pas requis. Tu sais, y a pas de... c'est pas requis. Je vais essayer de plus simple. Fait que la TRD, ça contient aussi la théorie d'intégration monétaire. Qu'est-ce que c'est la théorie d'intégration monétaire? La théorie d'intégration monétaire, c'est exactement qu'est-ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe. En Europe. Combien de secondes qui me restait? Il me restait 5 secondes. Ben c'est bon, 5 secondes. Fait qu'on va prendre... Tenez compte que ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça contient la théorie d'intégration monétaire. La théorie d'intégration monétaire. Fait Fait que si les Canadiens gagnent, je vais prendre un café. S'ils sont dans le moins, je vais pas. S'ils perdent, s'ils gagnent, je vais pas. Mais on va voir. Fait que on va prendre toute la dette publique privée, incluant mon 10 000, 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 bien sûr, mon 10 000 de 10 000, de compte à compte, toute la dette publique privée, toute la dette publique privée, incluant mon 10 000. On va prendre, vu que la devise des États-Unis est encore la devise de choix pour les finances du monde, le commerce global, le commerce global, le commerce global, bien sûr, on va prendre toute la dette publique privée, toute la dette publique privée, toute la dette publique privée. On va faire une refusion, toute cette dette publique privée, on va convertir ensemble la devise des États-Unis dans la devise des États-Unis. Fait que toute la dette publique privée, toute la dette publique privée, bien sûr, mon 10 000, ton 10 000, votre 10 000, mon 10 000, ça soit, ben, toute la dette, ça a été dans des milliards. Fait que toute la dette publique privée, de côte à côte, Canada premièrement, après ça, États-Unis, Haïti, Cuba, c'est un paradoxe, là, Cuba, mais la Jamaïque, le pays de l'Amérique du Nord, mais Canada premièrement. Fait que toute la dette, ça a fondé converti dans la devise des États-Unis, ça a fondé l'argent initial pour une nouvelle banque. On va faire la création d'une nouvelle monnaie basée sur la valeur du dollar des États-Unis. UI. On va appeler UI. En anglais, c'est pareil, on ne s'ostinera pas. U point unité, E point échange universel, UI. On va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10% maximum. Avec tout cet argent-là, on va rebâtir l'infrastructure du collectif nord-américain, bâtir plus de centrales, financer les gens en fait d'entraînement physique, financer les gens au tourisme, bien sûr, bâtir pour la défense des tunnels, puis fonder les deux institutions de partenariat public-privé, l'armée du dragon, des partenaires public-privé avec l'armée de la déesse qui danse, bâtir plus de centrales d'Hydro-Québec. On met un taux d'intérêt de 10%, on fait un gel des prix du beurre, puis du bacon, puis du fromage, puis des patates, puis des navets, puis des produits alimentaires, puis avec ça pour le UI. Comme qu'ils ont fait en Europe, la création d'une monnaie comme en euro, ils ont créé une banque centrale. On va faire la création d'une banque centrale de l'Amérique du Nord. Mais la dette publique-privée, ça va être l'argent en circulation. Toute la dette publique-privée convertie dans la devise des États-Unis. Parce que l'UI, en anglais c'est pareil, U point unité, E point échange universel, ça va être basé sur la valeur du dollar des États-Unis, parce que le dollar des États-Unis, c'est encore la numéro 1 dans le monde. Fait que date sur la terre des théories de la révision de la dette, c'est la seule et unique solution.